Welcome to the BEASTwriter family, where social media engagement is encouraged. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we are going to be breaking down and making sense of the smoke screens regarding Kyle Shanahan wanting Mac Jones, while the front office and GM John Lynch want Trey Lance. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break that down brick by brick, layer by layer, peeling back, again, layers of the onion to get to the core, as I always like to say, because I think this is a huge smokescreen. There's a lot of smoke screens out there around this time of year. I've been covering the draft for well over 25 years. 25 years. Geez, I'm old. Anyways, we're going to talk and dive right into it. Before we go ahead and do that, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, so I'm really happy about that. Also, of course, every Friday we do a giveaway at 2:30 p.m. on our live stream, if not earlier in the day. And yesterday I didn't get an opportunity to do that, but we are giving away this 49ers Fit founding member t-shirt, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to release that winner later on today on this Saturday. In fact, I'm thinking I'm going to do more than one gift today as a giveaway for the BEASTwriter family. Again, without you guys, without your good vibes only, we wouldn't be where we are today. So it's all thanks to you. So thank you and mahalo. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. We have a lot of questions coming in. And again, this is our second live call-in show. So if you want to call in, here is a stream where you can go ahead and do so. Just go ahead and go to that link. It's on StreamYard. Just go ahead to that link, click the link. You'll be entered into the live show. We had some people on here yesterday for our Ultimate Report, CJ Ruthless Sports, Gustavo, a few other people. So thank you so much, and mahalo. All right, let's get right into it, man. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. And a lot of questions are coming through. Sanjo Sunny says, what's good, Beast? What is going on? How are you doing? He says, Lance is the pick. He says Trey Lance is the pick. I'm going to break it down to you why that could definitely be in play. But let me tell you my smoke screens, what I'm hearing out of San Francisco or Santa Clara, and my thoughts and what I'm hearing internally as it pertains to the quarterback situation. Here, listen up, guys. I think this is a huge smokescreen because if you're picking at 3, there's no added value for you to put these leaks out saying one wants one quarterback, the other wants another quarterback. It's to drive up interest in case someone really wants that quarterback. Could they possibly move up, and then they can possibly trade back and pick up and regain draft capital for giving up the farm, 3 first-round picks, and a third rounder next year in order to still get the guy that they wanted at maybe 6 or 7 instead of the guy at 3 reaching for need, diminishing the value of the pick. Hey, look, if you're going after a guy like Mac Jones or Trey Lance, there's no reason to jump up to number 3. Which brings me to my next question. How come Justin Fields, how come Zach Wilson are not in conversation? Remember, I put out this podcast earlier and I said, the Jets are likely going to go after Zach Wilson. And some of you guys are saying no, because Joe Douglas, and not you personally, but there's people that are saying no, Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh told Shanahan and Kyle and John Lynch that they're not going to take a quarterback. Well, yeah, that's why Zach Wilson getting a little out of control here. That's why Zach Wilson is not even in the conversation, because it's coming down to who? Mac Jones, Trey Lance. But what about Justin Fields? Justin Fields is definitely going to go in the top 5 in my estimation. And I don't know about you guys, but I really see that thing playing out. If you think that Justin Fields is not going to go in the top 5, tell me why. Tell me why. Because, again, it's going to come down to this. And if you watched my earlier live stream with Jim Trotter early in the week, he broke it down. He said all these quarterbacks are going to be pushed up the draft board just like every year, and how many actually pan out. How many of these quarterbacks in the first round pan out? Trey Lance is the ultimate boom or bust prospect. He has the highest ceiling, and I said this on Twitter. Go back and check my Twitter YouTube receipts. I said it since day one. Someone asked me what are my thoughts on Trey Lance. I say, hey, look, Trey Lance has the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this draft. He could potentially, with a P, be the best player to come out of this draft class. However, it's potential. He's very raw. He doesn't have much game day experience. But when he's on the field, he wins. But when you're a scout, when you're a talent evaluator trying to project these quarterbacks at the NFL level, and then you're going after a guy from North Dakota State who's not even playing against FBS competition, you're going through different tiers to kind of project this player to see how he's actually going to pan out when he's going up against these bigger, faster, stronger guys at the pro level. There is no Nick Bosa in the FBC or the division that he was in, but there are in the Big Ten and the SEC. So you have to put things in perspective. I'm not saying Trey Lance is not going to be a good quarterback. Again, he could be the best quarterback to come out, but you're banking on his potential. And if you're trading up to number 3, giving up 3 first-round picks, and people will say, oh, no, we didn't give up 3. Yes, you did. You gave up 3 first-round picks and a third-rounder. That's 4 draft picks. Yes, you yielded 1 first-round draft pick in return, but in order to get that first-round pick in return, you had to give up 3 first-round picks. Anyways, another story. What I'm trying to say is this. If the 49ers were seriously considering Trey Lance at number 3, there was no need for them to jump ahead to number 3 to go ahead and get him. You could have got him at 6. You could have traded with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles were willing to trade because what did they do? Oh, that's right. They traded with the Miami Dolphins once the Dolphins traded back to 12 to move back up to 6. I'm just saying it's really interesting to see how all this is playing out. And let me just take it a step further. The Falcons who set, again, I cover all 32 NFL teams. So in order to actually gauge what I'm talking about, you really have to know exactly all the other GM's tendencies. And here's some food for thought for you guys. And I'll get to your comments. I see them coming up here. New GM Terry Fontenot comes from the Saints, who really puts input and takes input from Ozzie Newsome, a tweet I just put out earlier, how Ozzie Newsome is my favorite GM of all time. But Ozzie Newsome's MO is never to reach for need, diminishing the value of the pick. Okay? Jim Trotter of NFL Network. If you watched my live stream with my man Jim Trotter, he broke it down brick by brick, year by year. I mean, he had it on a legit, he was reading off names. Hey, let me tell you something. He was like, boom, 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 boom. These guys do not pan out. These quarterbacks, boom, boom, boom. You don't think Terry Fontenot, if he's sitting there at number 4 with all these other quarterbacks who are kind of on the fence, because let me tell you something. There is not one consensus number 1 overall quarterback. In fact, I can probably tell you that I'm not so sure Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 rated player on all 32 teams' boards when it comes to the quarterback position and their horizontal board. So with that being said, if with no consensus number 1, it's a game of musical chairs there. It's kind of pick your poison. Who fits your scheme the best? I get it. But if you're sitting there at 4 and you have Jamar Chase sitting there and Calvin Ridley, who's in the last year of his rookie deal coming from Alabama, you need an insurance policy because he might not be there next year. Why not go ahead and get the best player in this entire draft class? Period, hands down. Jamar Chase, to me, is the best player in this draft class. He's my number 1 ranked player on my big board. I can see Terry Fontenot dipping into the Ozzie Newsome ideology and saying, I'm going to select the best player available. I'll let these other teams in front of me go ahead and reach for need, diminishing the value of the pick. And I know I need a quarterback, but I'm stuck with Matt Ryan for the next 2 years anyways. Might as well get him an offensive weapon because as my first line of GM duties and having that first round pick in the top 5, I want to make sure that I'm hitting it out of the ballpark with a home run. Jamar Chase is definitely a home run hitter. So again, you have to look into the dynamics of all 32 NFL teams in order to gauge interest in exactly what's going to happen with the teams in front of you. And when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, again, I think this is a huge smokescreen. Now, I could be wrong, but if I was to say, do I believe or deceive that they're going after Mac Jones, I would say that's deception because, again, you could have possibly even had Mac Jones at 12. There's no way. It's not a guarantee that the Carolina Panthers would not pass up Mac Jones at number 8. Because, again, they also have Teddy Bridgewater. And, again, I cover all 32 NFL teams. Go watch that earlier podcast on Teddy Bridgewater. I broke it down brick by brick on that. So, with that being said, if they were going after Trey Lance or Mac Jones, they would still have one of those 2 options at number 12. Furthermore, let's go ahead and take into account exactly what their team's needs are. Well, they need a boundary cornerback, and Patrick Surtain at number 8 would be great value coming from Alabama. He is the most fundamentally sound technician quarterback coming out of this draft class. I really like Patrick Surtain Jr. He would be a nice play, teaming up with Denzel Perryman and Hassan Reddick, who they both got in free agency there in Carolina under defensive coordinator Phil Snow's defense. All right, let's go ahead and get to your questions, guys. I don't know how I'm remembering all this, but this is crazy. All right, Lunar Mystic, you didn't even need to trade up for Mac Jones. Exactly, you didn't. You definitely didn't need to trade up for Mac Jones. Lunar Mystic, when you get a quarterback at the top 3, you don't get the safest pick. You get the most athletically gifted. If the Niners get Mac, it's because Shanahan wants him, not John. We have my man 49ers Ultimate Report coming in here. I see you, bro. He said, Beast, I hope Kyle getting Mac Jones is a smokescreen. It is. It is a huge smokescreen. Here, listen to this. If I'm a GM, and you guys like how I put on my GM hat here. See how I did that? No. Cut the BS. Let's get straight to the point, right? The reason why they're driving up interest for Mac Jones, could it be because they know that the New England Patriots want him at 15? And who do they want? And who do they want to get rid of? And who's likely to go after that guy? Jimmy Garoppolo. So they could be just like waving, like, hey, Bill Belichick, who do you want? You want Jimmy Garoppolo or Mac Jones? Because we got both of them. How you like me now, huh? How you like me now? I legit, that's like a slap in Bill Belichick's face. It's like, hey, we hold the cards here, bro. We have Jimmy Garoppolo. We know you want him. We know you also like Mac Jones. I know he had that one throw deep, and you kind of like, I ain't like it. But at the end of the day, he's good friends with Nick Saban. I guarantee Nick Saban put in a good word to Bill Belichick that Mac Jones is the guy at number 15 and provide great value. So if you are the San Francisco 49ers and you're Kyle Shanahan and GM John Lynch, wouldn't you be trying to drive up the hype for both those players? Oh, yeah, we love Jimmy Garoppolo one more year. Oh, we love Mac Jones. Hey, at number 3, why not? We traded up number 12 to 3. You don't know who we're getting, but we're just going to say Mac Jones to use that as a smokescreen because if you guys want him, you guys have to trade up and get him. Interesting. We're going to bring in my man, John J. Let's just bring him right now. John, how you doing today, bro?
What's up, Beast?
How you doing? Long time no see, bro. What's on your mind? Let's talk about this. Do you think it's a huge smokescreen, or do you think that there's really added value here?
It's a smokescreen. Like, you basically made a great point, and that point is very simple. Bill Belichick was talking with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and the Niners have the cards when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. They also have the number 3 pick. And the Patriots, eventually they have to move away from Cam if it's going to be the year after or a couple of years, but they have to address the quarterback position. So the 49ers have Jimmy Garoppolo, and they could be drafting Mac Jones, which is, BS to me, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I'm just letting everybody know. If we get Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's going to go back to the Patriots, Bill Belichick could give up that 15th pick, like it or not. Because if you want him so badly, this has been going on for a month now. Oh, sources in the building in New England, they're our number 1 plan. They haven't pulled the trigger. I don't know why. Because these rumors and stories about John Lynch is only going to give up a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, that's the reason why I feel now more confident, even though that there are a lot of people probably on the chat right now, Jimmy Garoppolo must go. But if you hold the cards, if you have that, if you play poker and you have that winning deck and you're telling, hey, do you really want, me to take all your money? And if a person gives you all the chips, you're going to show them, hey, we got the cards, and that's what we have to understand. And I'm not a big Zach Wilson. I would rather have Zach Wilson and Justin Fields over Mac Jones. I'm a Trey Lance guy. Yeah.
No, go ahead. No, you're a Trey Lance guy. Go ahead, because you're high on Trey Lance, and I'm not hating on Trey Lance. He's a proverbial boom or bust prospect. Now, what I mean by that is people get the negative connotation that I'm calling him a bust. No, a proverbial boom or bust prospect means you're either going to make it to be an all-pro Hall of Fame player, or you're going to be what we thought you were. And we let him off the hook, like Danny Green always says. And putting it in perspective, Trey Lance, I love the critical factors he brings to the table, but he is raw. And after me talking to scouts being inside in the know, and then me evaluating my own and have my own evaluation process on Trey Lance. Again, it's hard to project any position in the NFL. Okay, this is what I want the Beastwriter family to understand. We all project, right? We all predict. But the people who get it right more often than not, what do they look for? Consistency. It doesn't matter if you come from a D2 school, a D3 school, a D1 school. With that, him coming from a D2 school, now you're projecting him to see how he does at the FBS level. Okay, so that's another layer that you have to project. There is no Nick Bosa's in the FBC or whatever conference he was in or whatever division, you know what I mean? So with that being said, and then you kind of project again to the NFL level, that's 2 layers of competition that you have to project. That's like a guy who's playing JV high school, right, against JV competition, and then having to project how he does at a community college, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's all I'm saying is it's very difficult for any of us to say he's going to be good or he's going to be bad. It's very hard because we don't know. But that's what makes these guys GMs, and that's what makes them, either they shine for making that pick or they get criticized for making the pick. We don't get paid millions of dollars to do it. They do. And ultimately, if GM John Lynch really wants Trey Lance, he's going to have to enforce his guns. The problem, that the power struggle that we're having here is GM John Lynch does not make decisions. He makes decisions when it comes to like defensive players. He makes decisions when it comes to the scouting department, like in the early rounds, because obviously Ethan Wall, the director of college scouting, good friend of mine, great guy, he does a really good job of getting that, on stranglehold and on lockdown. So he does a really good job there. He trusts Ethan Wall very, very much so. And then also Adam Peters, the vice president, right? So we all know that. But when it comes to making these types of decisions, especially moving up from 12 to 3, that's going to fall on Kyle Shanahan's shoulders. That's his decision to make. It's not GM John Lynch's. And that's where the power struggle is going to be. That's why I put up a podcast that GM John Lynch may be on the hot seat, because of the fact that he might be the scapegoat. Ultimately, what if Trey Lance turns out to be this all-pro player? And what if Mac Jones turns out to be this flop? Then what? Who gets the blame? GM John Lynch, because ultimately he's the GM. Kyle Shanahan's going to be there because he adds more value versatility-wise, just like if you're looking at a player and you're looking at the value in the return game and you're looking at a player drafted in the 4th, 5th round, like, oh yeah, he adds versatility. He adds special teams value. We're going to keep him on the 53-man roster, 55-man roster. Same thing with Kyle Shanahan. Not only is he a personnel type of guy, but he also brings the offensive innovation to the forefront with the San Francisco 49ers. So it's like, if you were to choose between the two, who would you rather keep, John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan? I guarantee you, more times than not, Kyle Shanahan would win out every single time.
Yeah, and that's true. Everything that you said, I don't disagree with anything you said. We don't know what Trevor Lawrence is going to be, but the hype that's been around him since when he was a freshman, when I think, right. I don't know if they won the national championship that year. It's been a while, a blur, but he's had that, that hype when he went to Clemson. Justin Fields, the same way, he was in Georgia, he transferred to Ohio State, went to a good program, but we don't know if he's going to be really good. At the same time, also, Zach Wilson, before this year, I looked at, what he did the 2 years before. He wasn't the greatest, but he had a great year, and that's what people look at. And so when I listen to people on chats and other, podcasts saying, oh, Justin Fields is Tom Brady.
Right.
Don't look at the highlights. The highlights make him look good. Look at the tape. Look what he's able to do when the pressure's on him, how he releases that ball in game situation. Same thing with Trey Lance. As I said, I'm a Trey Lance guy. But one thing that really hurts Trey Lance is that he played one game. Their conference didn't play. But the buzz coming out from the year before was, hey, he could be, in the mix between that number 1 pick. That's why he's fallen, but he's not going to, go very low, because the people know what, the risk is. If he blossoms.
Yes.
And we miss him. Say, we get Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, and those guys, eventually take over for Garoppolo, and they, look good, and then they start to regress, and then he goes to a different system, Trey Lance, and then he has success. It's the Russell Wilson thing that like I tell people, I saw one game in college against in the Rose Bowl game like years back, and I was joking around with my friends. This guy's going to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. He did. People mock me. So when I say Trey Lance is going to be good, look at what I said 5 years ago and see how he's going to go. That's the reason why Kyle Shanahan, he's made it very clearly, and there's still a lot of people say, oh, Mac Jones, Mac Jones, Mac Jones. No, he says, if my quarterback is mobile, I'll take him, but accuracy is what he wants. He doesn't care if they run around like Lamar Jackson, but if he has, that accuracy and hitting his receivers, he'll do it. Right. And that's the reason why Justin Fields and Trey Lance are the two guys. I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is garbage. I'm more confident of what Kyle said about that. Makes me predict that if they're not confident on Justin Fields, and now the narrative has changed. First, it was John Lynch wanted Justin Fields and Kyle Shanahan wanted Trey Lance. Now it's a flip. So we don't know what's going on. So that's what I'm trying to make a point for anyone who last time I was on said, nonsense. I know my stuff. I research it. Yeah. And that's the reason why I like you, out of all the people I follow, I've had you the longest following you because you break down little by little and explain it the best way possible. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. So,
and like I said, man, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Here in the BEASTwriter family, it's all about good vibes only. The thing that I have a problem with and where I really get upset about is when people try to come in to our house. I mean, our house, that means everyone, all of us, right? Because this is the BEASTwriter family. When they try to sidestep into our house and then just troll and say, you're this, you're that, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, look, dude, you're coming into our BEASTwriter family trying to stir up crap. And I'm not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for it. So you can take that somewhere else. So anybody who does that, I have no tolerance. I have a zero tolerance policy for that because, again, at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And we don't know what's going on. None of us are God. Okay? So when people start to call things as fact, that's when I get upset. And then when they start calling me out on like, oh, well, what do I know? And it's just like, well, you really don't know. Because obviously I know, that's where it kind of gets, you're kind of teetering the wrong way. So don't worry about it, man. Keep up the good work. Stay tuned. Stay here. Actually, I'm going to hop on with my man Sanjo Sunny, but I want to. He just timed out of the chat. Sanjo Sunny, come back in the chat so I can go ahead and add you on, bro. But no, let's just go ahead and keep talking about it. There's some questions here. We're going to have you on until he comes back here. He says, Mike Floyd from the BEASTwriter family says, hey, Beast, any linebackers in the middle rounds that are a good match for the Niners? Well, honestly, I don't think that they're going to look at linebackers simply because they already got Samson Ebukam, and they had a few other guys. Obviously, they have Dre Greenlaw. I think Fred Warner's going to extend it. But stay tuned for that. We're going to hop on with Sanjo Sunny. John Jay, can you sit tight real fast? I'll bring you back in. All right.
No problem.
All right. What's going on, Sanjo Sunny?
Hey, what's happening, Ryan? How you doing, man?
Dude, this is what you look like face to face. I didn't know. This is why I love about the BEASTwriter family because the face to face interaction type of a deal. So
yeah.
I wasn't expecting and something in my head I didn't expect this. So awesome. No, it's good.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, like, because you just see the avatar, and you're like, I wonder what this guy looks like, or I don't even know if this guy's a female or male. I don't know. I'm serious, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's really cool, really cool. How you doing today, man?
I'm cool, man. Just wanted to get on and say what's up. Well, I came in with there's a lot of things that are popping in my head. I was gonna say, plus my internet's acting kind of funny right now. So whenever I was trying to get in, it was kicking me out. I was, what the hell? But anyways,
good.
No, I was coming on to say I like Trey Lance. I know you saw I posted that, and I know you were talking about how why the Niners shouldn't be pushing out no kind of smoke screens really. And something that kind of popped in my head, really, I'm still thinking about that second pick. I'm like, the Jets. It's just, I think really it's real sketchy because so I'm watching. I stay on sports, man, but I seen on Sports Center they were showing that Sam Darnold was still on the Jets website and all this stuff. Yeah, for next year's. I'm just like, well, it's like all smoke screens, right? So I'm like, oh, everybody's throwing out. Nobody really knows who's gonna do what. You know, what I mean, I would, it's crazy. It sounds. It probably wouldn't even shock me if Jacksonville actually didn't take Trevor Lawrence and they went with Zach Wilson or something. I'd be like, well, there you go. There goes another bomb. So we really don't know. Like you were just saying too, nobody really knows what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? A lot of things are gonna transpire in the draft, and you're gonna see, what is what. But so I started thinking about that last night. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the Niners are still, even though we're sitting at 3, we're not as comfortable as we probably like to be. We probably really want to be in that number 2 spot to where it's like, no, we can get who we want. You know what I mean? Outside of Trevor Lawrence, pretty sure he's not going to be. But if Trevor Lawrence was there, of course we're going to take him. But I'm just saying, if we're sitting at 2, I'm sure there's no need to worry. But we're sitting at 3, and let's say, for example, I like Lance. Let's say they like Lance. All of a sudden, the Jets and Robert Saleh are looking like, what? Kyle Shanahan likes Lance. We're running the same system over here. You know what I mean? Maybe we do. Maybe we need to be looking at Lance a little bit more. So there's
exactly.
Really there's just so much going on. It's like what? And then also to touch on something else, just change the subject a little bit. I was thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo, right? So for the longest time, I've been wanting Jimmy gone. I don't. I usually want Jimmy out of there. Man. Get him out of there, man. But it's. I'm starting to think about it now. I'm like, you know what? Keeping Jimmy is actually beneficial for not just him, but the team too as well. You know what I mean? I think if he can stay healthy, come out shine, his stock's gonna go up. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna want to go in there, and somebody's gonna want to come get him. You know what I mean? I'm sure if he does good enough, and hopefully he does. I mean, he's on the team. As long as he's on the Niners, I gotta support it. I still got his jersey in my closet. I haven't wore it. I'm just saying, I still got it in there. I'm just like, because of course I believed in Jimmy Garoppolo when he came in. I was, what, dude, look good, but now it's just like it's flipped. Either way, if we get Lance or Fields, I'm happy, man. You know what I mean? I'm happy with either one. But Mac Jones, oh man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm telling you guys right now, they're not going to go after Mac Jones. This is all smoke. If they trade up from 12 to 3 to go after Mac Jones, the BEASTwriter family will riot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure.
I'm legit. We'll come out and be like, dude, what the heck are you guys doing? And calling them out on it.
Yeah.
Because if you were a betting man today in real time and you were playing the lotto, I guarantee 9 times out of 10, the BEASTwriter family would be like, you know what? Mac Jones was a reach at 3.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I hear
you,
man.
You don't mortgage your future to move up to number 3 for a guy like Mac Jones when you could have got him at 6 with the Philadelphia Eagles and did what the Miami Dolphins did, trading back from 12 to 6 and still recoup draft capital and still have a top 10 pick in the first round. You don't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Hey, I don't even. I know he's pretty good with throwing that ball. He's very accurate. There's some pluses to Mac Jones, right? But man, I mean, when you see it, you were in Alabama, like, dude, I'm surprised you're not rocked up, swole up. You know what I mean? It looks like he's on the sideline drinking beer all day or something. I'm like, dude, what's going on, man? You know what I mean? Hot dogs and beer. You know what I mean? We got chili dogs over here.
Yeah.
You seen? I don't know why I keep having this image in my head. You've seen Tropic Thunder, right? When Jack Black's over there just doing his little thing, and then he's like, "Oh, what's that? Nothing." It's like, dude, what do you got? You got beer? You got beer in that Gatorade thing you're sitting on, man? Like, what's going on? No, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, dude, what's going on? You like, man, I look better. I'm just like, dude, oh man, like you got to get it together, Mac Jones, man. You got to size up, man.
It's really nuts how everything's coming to fruition. But I'm just gonna let people know right now. They wanted my analysis on smoke screens. I'm telling you right now, this is a huge smoke screen. It's to drive up interest. And again, you made a great point. It's not only to push the players, or excuse me, the teams behind you to make you think like you're doing what's called reverse psychology into thinking like, hey, we're really targeting this player when really you're not. It's kind of like a game of Texas Hold'em. You're also playing games with Robert Saleh and GM Joe Douglas saying, hey, we're not even having Zach Wilson in discussion because we don't want him. We're talking about Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Come on, bro. More times than not, that's BS. Zach Wilson is legit going to be the guy at number 2 if the Jets don't take him. And if he falls to number 3, he'll be the guy at number 3. Again, it's reverse psychology. You have to think it's a game of chess. Right?
Yeah.
And everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
So you got to really read between the lines and say exactly, all right, really Mac Jones at 3? Why is everyone talking about this on this Saturday? talking about Mac Jones at 3. Really? Yeah, really, bro. You're gonna go to the Easter Sunday with your family gatherings while your kids are freaking finding finding eggs, Easter egg hunting and stuff, and you'll be like, man, I need to find my Easter egg hunt because I don't know if they're really gonna draft Mac Jones or not.
Yeah.
Are you being serious? That's straight up BS, bro. Anyways,
man, we're everybody shook. All Niners are shook. But I'll tell you one thing: being that we're all shook, all the other teams are believing it. Like, oh man, they're really thinking about taking Mac Jones. So, hopefully it's a beneficial thing. Hopefully there's a flip to it. Hopefully everything comes to everything. One last thing I want to say real quick before
go ahead.
I get off and everything. But man, I'm skeptical about Zach Wilson, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dude, because. Don't get me wrong, I watched a lot of his, his highlights and everything. I saw him, and I liked him, before all this, even months when we're still watching football. When football season was still on, I was looking because everybody's, man, you gotta check out Zach Wilson. So I went ahead and went back, and I was watching a lot of his highlights and film or whatever, and I seen the years before, and I was just like, yeah, dude, don't look that great. I'm like, no, you gotta watch this year's film. I guess he had shoulder surgery or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, but. Ain't it a pandemic year? I'm just skeptical because of the pandemic. I'm like, well, I gotta wonder, like, okay, is this you? Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Is it the shoulder surgery, or was it the pandemic? Because a lot of players opted out. Some players didn't really want to play. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, he is who he's going to be. I just think really a lot of it depends on where they land at. If we get Zach Wilson. Right. I'm sure it's going to go to the top. We get Trey Lance. I believe Trey Lance is the guy. He's the one I want. I believe he's going to shine. Justin Fields, he's going to shine. Whoever we get, he's going to shine. Mac Jones, though, like, it's just we're going to quit talking about Mac Jones. I'm done with the Mac Jones. But all right. But you have a good time. You have a good day, Ryan, man. Hey.
No, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, my man. Always good to hear from you. I look forward to more. Hey,
one last thing. I'm from San Jose, man. I know you see the San Joe, but it's really I see for San Jose. You already know, man.
What part of San Jose are you from? I'm from the east side, bro.
My whole family is all. You live on the east side. I still got family right behind the off Story King. What is it?
Oh, that's east side.
Yeah, east side. It's right by mi Pueblo.
Yeah. I know. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Right in the back there. My family's still.
Well, maybe one day we'll get together and we'll get together one of these days then. How's that sound?
Oh, for sure, Ryan, man. Hey, keep up the good work, man. Stay up, bro.
All right, buddy. Take it easy, my man. All right, we have 49ers Ultimate Report back in the house. Let's continue on what we were discussing. Do you think it's also a huge smokescreen, but what do you like most about Trey Lance that he brings to the table that maybe a Zach Wilson or a Justin Fields or even a Trevor Lawrence do not have? Like, what's the competitive advantage of bringing in a guy like Trey Lance, in your opinion?
Well, John Lynch, he's stubborn, and then also Kyle Shanahan, he's stubborn in his own way, and they have defended Jimmy Garoppolo no matter how much the media wants them to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. But Jimmy Garoppolo is a double-edged sword. I've said it on a live stream a few weeks ago. If he is not playing, the Niners are going to lose. When he is playing, the Niners are going to win. But at the same time, when you look at the last 3 years, and I did the numbers, 52% of the time Jimmy Garoppolo's on the field, 52% of the time he's going to win games. Out of those 52% of the times, 73%, he has a 73% win percentage. But at the same time, the double-edged sword, when he is not playing because of injury, the Niners lose. But it's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. It's John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan not having a ready backup to help them out. So Trey Lance is a project that can develop in Shanahan's system. Now, what do I mean about that? Oh, John Jay, what are you talking about? You're just saying, well, listen for all of the people, haters, I'll use that word, that the way he plays is not very conventional. Like, you don't want a quarterback, he had over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. And I don't want to say he's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a different breed. Trey Lance has an accurate arm. So I don't want to say, like the NFL Network after his pro day, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a different breed. Different breed.
Do that.
You cannot do that.
That's horrible.
So the best way for me to describe him, and I could be wrong, and the only quarterback, I was looking at quarterbacks, first, like the first 10 up to 10 years ago, could not find him. Then I looked at 20 years, could not find him. Finally, I had to make a tough decision. And I said, Steve McNair. Steve McNair had a good arm. He played the same way that Trey Lance did. Steve McNair did not have the Hall of Fame career, but he was a great player. And he loved to run. But one of the things that happened to Steve McNair, he got hurt so much. Yeah. That's the reason why running quarterbacks, it's a huge risk. They can get hurt. Right. So I'm like, okay, Steve McNair, not the best quarterback. Plus, he did not have people around him. Trey Lance will come in a situation where they have already established and put together an offense. They've addressed the left tackle with Trent Williams. They got Alex Mack. Kyle Juszczyk, is like a Swiss Army knife. And right. George Kittle. So say Jimmy Garoppolo, it goes like, he goes 8-1 in 9 games, and then he gets hurt. Mm-hmm. Trey Lance has been working with those guys, and he was not rushed in. So he could basically, Kyle will say, you know what, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to use the skills that you have, so we will just manage the game, because the Niners defense is much better than advertised. I don't care that we lost a lot of people, but, there was a reason why I said we were a 6-10 team that was better than teams like teams that made the playoffs, because our defense kept us in games. So just having him there and learn, because Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to go nowhere, no matter how much you don't like him. Right. Justin Fields, he has way better skills, and he also played last year. He played, I think, I don't know how many games last year, but he played a full season. This year, they had to cancel 3 games because of COVID. But imagine if he had all those other games. Plus, their conference pushed Ohio State to go to the BCS champion, that tournament, which a lot of people were pissed off in that conference because they said Ohio State did not deserve it. So, but when it comes to toughness, Justin Fields I like, because Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt. He got hurt in the Clemson game. Exactly. And then he came back in. That shows you the toughness. So that's the reason why Justin Fields, even though I'm not a big fan of him, the toughness. So that's the reason why those 2 quarterbacks, there's nothing against Zach Wilson. There's nothing against Mac Jones. Mac Jones is basically, it's true, he's Kirk Cousins. Someone said that he was, I read this, I'm trying to remember, that they said that he was like Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. I'm like, really? Mac Jones, Lamar Jackson, you either must be on some medication or, taking something that you're not supposed to if you're going to be saying that. So I don't believe Mac Jones. Plus, Mac Jones is basically, his ceiling is Kirk Cousins. He's basically right now at this moment, he has a really good arm. But in today's NFL, you have to be a little bit mobile. You have to be able to scramble in the pocket. Right. Give yourself some time while, everyone's trying to blitz you, to give your receivers more opportunity to get open. Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's why Trey Lance makes sense, and you can disagree. I love disagreement. I'm a person like this.
No, it's not so much I disagree. I just want to see your point. You bring up great points. I'm just going to answer this question from Michael right now. He said non-division related, but honestly opinion on Jalen Hurts as a starter going to be successful or a bust. I'm not going to call him a bust just yet, because I do like Jalen Hurts' game. Obviously, I'm a huge Roll Tide fan. Saw him at Oklahoma and so forth. But I think Jalen Hurts, is he going to be like one of these top 10 quarterbacks? I don't see that. But is he going to be a top 15, top 20 quarterback? I can definitely see that playing in his favor. So I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a bust. He came out, in the 2nd round, I believe. And Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, I think, will do just fine, being as the entrance starter in year 2, taking over for Carson Wentz, who I think Jalen Hurts also changed his number from number 2 to number 1. Did you guys know about that? Probably not. I didn't know that either until ESPN told me so on notification. All right. All right. So let's get some of your questions. Let's talk to you about what else we got to talk about? Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you want Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco? Just a yes or no question.
That's a really good question, because a lot of people they think I support Jimmy Garoppolo. At the moment, yes, because whoever that rookie's going to be, if we cut him or we trade him, how confident is Kyle Shanahan willing to put a rookie quarterback? That's a tough question.
Yes.
So the answer right now is yes, but we will see, because I did a best players like before before free agency, and I was looking at quarterbacks, and I looked at all the free agent quarterbacks. Number one, none of them sees Kyle Shanahan's system. So I looked at some backup quarterbacks. There's none at the Jimmy Garoppolo level.
Yeah. Very, very true. I think for both sides, I see it from both perspectives. I like seeing from, there's always two sides to every story. Maybe one, because internally I've worked with them. I still keep in touch with a lot of the players and some of the coaches and then some of their family members and so forth, and even the personnel. It's a power struggle going on, because at some point, when do you say enough is enough when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo, hearing all this in the background, all this noise, and then telling him, you're only going to be here for one more year. Go out and play your best. It's almost like you're going through a divorce, and it'll be finalized at the end of the year. You're just going through the motions, right? Can you honestly say Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a better year than he did back in 2019 if in fact, he does stay healthy for a full 17-game schedule, that he'll have the same type of success, especially with a team like this, with an offensive line and everyone coming back? And I would argue he has even more weapons this year. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, way better than, a Kendrick Bourne, and Kendrick Bourne's not there anymore, but still, Brandon Ayuk adds a wide receiver one mentality to the 49ers offense. Kyle Juszczyk is coming back. You still have Trent Williams, like you just pointed out. Mike McGlinchey's still there. You bring in Alex Mack. That's an upgrade at center. So on the offense side of the game, I would argue that the 2019 49ers offense is not as good as, on paper, the 2021 roster. With that being said, can Jimmy Garoppolo have better numbers than he did back in 2019? I don't think so. I'm going to say that's a hard no, because mentally, people don't understand. It's as much as the football game is as much physical, it's as much mental. And from the shoulders up, he's screwed in the head. And that's not saying it lightly. I mean, I'm just saying, and that's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. I mean, that's the humanistic approach to it. We're all human. We're not robots. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. And when people say iron sharpens iron, I get it. NFL stands for not for long. But it's another thing when you're hearing one thing from the front office and the coaching staff saying we have your back, and then going behind your back and then basically trying to look for someone to replace you. That doesn't set a good locker room dynamic and only creates a toxic one in San Francisco. What are your thoughts there?
Well, I a little bit disagree. Jimmy Garoppolo knows this is a business.
Okay.
I know that, we have moved away from the times where you draft a quarterback and you keep them for 15 years. Not the case no more. Look at Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. Those guys became backups. In other times, you would keep them and, try to develop them.
Okay.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, will be a great football player. Either it's going to be with the 49ers, which is going to be long-term, but we don't know. He could go back to New England. We don't know. But you don't trade up number 3 and say, you know what, I'm going to get a position player that's not a quarterback. That doesn't make any sense. So when Kyle Shanahan said, I hope Jimmy Garoppolo's mad. I hope that he's upset. Because I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo's mad.
He's mad. Trust me on that. I've heard he's mad. He's mad. He's upset. And I will tell you this. By Kyle Shanahan going up and saying, I hope he's upset, as if he needs more added motivation or fuel to the fire than what he's already been getting through the media. It's not. That's not it. He doesn't need added more fuel to the fire. It comes down to, again, if you don't want the guy, get rid of him. It's like being in a toxic relationship. And like I said, like all the other partner does is complain about you. Well, you have a choice. You can leave. But unfortunately, Jimmy Garoppolo cannot leave. He's tied to a contract, right? So at the end of the day, if you don't like it, someone has to say, okay, enough is enough. Let's just go on and move on. The only reason they're keeping Jimmy Garoppolo there is one, as trade bait, because they want a first round pick for the New England Patriots. If you watch my earlier podcast, and even during the year, I said that he's going to go back to the Patriots. Still believe that it's going to happen. On my latest podcast, said that it's not going to be for a first round pick. And if it is, it's going to be for a second round pick. They'll get the 46th overall pick. So what you do when you look at draft position, you hold two second round picks, 43 and 46. Now you can manipulate the draft on day 2 how you see fit. If you see a guy that's falling in the tail end of the first round, do you go ahead and make a move and go after possibly an edge rusher that's coming off the board in the tail end of the first, who will likely go at the top of the second on day 2? These are things that you have to come into play. When you look at a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo and keeping him on the roster just because you're hoping for one more year or one more good year and giving that quarterback behind you who you're drafting at number 3 or number 2 or wherever you're drafting, they could trade back and still get the guy that they want. What kind of message does that send to the rest of the team when you know damn well that I can tell you right now, if I had to take a guess, I don't think George Kittle believes that Jimmy Garoppolo wants to stay in San Francisco right now. Because if he did, he wouldn't be so upset tweeting stuff out like, oh, what that tweet, what did we do? We went to number 3. George Kittle has Jimmy Garoppolo's back. There's a lot of players in that locker room who have Jimmy Garoppolo's back, but at the end of the day, it's not up to the players. It's up to the GM to go ahead and make that decision, up to the coaches to go ahead and pull the trigger and say, you know what, Jimmy, you're not going to get it done. So at the end of the day, I think the best move would be to trade and move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, get draft capital in return, start with a clean slate, and then again, you have to look toward your future. If you hold number 43 and number 46, that's favorable draft position, and you can manipulate the draft and possibly moving back up in the tail end in the first round if you see fit, because you draft at 43 and 46. So there's only 2 picks in between. So if you feel like you can still get the guy at 46 that you would have otherwise had at 43, maybe you can trade that 43, get more draft capital in return, and then you can mortgage your future that way without having to deal with Jimmy Garoppolo drama. Then we're not talking about this. And then it's a win-win for everyone. Jimmy goes back to New England, shines with Bill Belichick, which I do believe will happen. If he goes back to New England, I do think he's going to revive his career and have a bounce-back season and bounce-back career. Ultimately, I think that's what needs to take place. I just don't see it logically to keep Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster other than saying he's a stop bridge gap quarterback, because every faithful knows this. He's gone. He's gone. He's not going to return after next year. We know that. He's damaged goods in San Francisco. He's no longer a San Francisco treat. He's more of a liability than an asset. And anybody who tells you otherwise, you'd be doing yourself a disservice, because actions speak louder than words ever will. Right? And what are the actions? They traded up from 12 to 3, giving up the farm to draft a quarterback of the future. Well, let me tell you something. The future is now. It's not tomorrow. It's today. And if you're going to go ahead and make that power play move, you can go ahead and move on from Jimmy Garoppolo and then get somebody in return as a bridge gap quarterback. You can still go after a guy like, hey, Alex Smith, isn't he still on the market? If you're only going to have him for 1 year anyways, wouldn't he be a good mentor? If anything, if it's just for 1 more year and this is a lost season anyways, wouldn't you want someone like that? Obviously, I wanted Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we all did, but hey, he's off to Washington. But there's still a lot of good veteran quarterbacks who can kind of, for 1 more year, get whoever the quarterback is behind side, whether it's Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, whoever the case may be, doesn't matter, and give them time to kind of groom and work into the system to where they're not put in a pressured situation. But at the end of the day, you're still giving the faithful hope that we can be in a win now mode, because, hey, we did it with Alex Smith. We went to the NFC Championship game with Alex. We went to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So it can happen. Ultimately, I think, will it happen? I think it will on draft day. I think Jimmy Garoppolo gets moved on draft day at the end of the day, because, again, it's not only looking at it from a draft capital standpoint, but you have to look at it from a financial standpoint. You save $23.6 million off the books. If you can save $23.6 million off the books, you can then roll that money into re-signing Fred Warner, which obviously Fred Warner Sr. is obviously, he was agreeing with me when I was talking about this during the year, throughout the year. Now, my latest podcast, commenting, saying, yourself. There's a reason for that, man. I'm telling you, Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster is doing more bad than good for the team. Not saying it's his fault. I'm not saying Jimmy Garoppolo, it's your fault. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think it's best if both organizations, both parties, Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, just went their separate ways and just enough is enough. Jimmy Garoppolo, we're going to ship you back to the New England Patriots, whatever. It's a first-round pick, number 15 overall, or the 46th overall pick. We get it. I don't care. And we get something in return, and then we can just work toward our future. And then they can both go their separate ways. It'll be a clean split. That way the faithful aren't talking about it, hearing about it. Jim Garoppolo's not hearing about it, not talking about it. We're all tired of talking about it. I mean, we can literally talk about Jimmy Garoppolo every single day. And now there's people making memes on Facebook of it. There's people making jokes about it. There's people who are on the fence. Anytime someone is a Jimmy Garoppolo supporter on the Facebook groups that we are on, we're on the same Facebook groups and Facebook pages. You see anybody who has support of Jimmy Garoppolo, those guys get ratioed up the wazoo. Like, well, so it's just almost like at the end of the day, the masses are telling you what? Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer. Kyle Shanahan knows he's not the answer. Steve Young went on record. If anyone knows the quarterback position more than anyone, it's Steve Young, the Hall of Fame quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, coming out of BYU, obviously. He said Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer. And when he talks, people listen, especially when it comes to the quarterback, because who knows better than him? Maybe Joe Montana. Other than that, who? Nobody. Right? So if Steve Young is saying it, don't you think we should buy into what Steve Young is saying, because he would know best, better than you, better than me, better than anyone else. And that's why I think it's very important that we have to listen to what these people are actually saying. People, especially people like Steve Young, who say, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer. Steve Young knows the system. He played for Kyle Shanahan's dad. He won a Super Bowl back in 1994 when he had Brent Jones, William Floyd, Ricky Waters, John Taylor, Bart Oates, Jesse Sapolo, Guy McIntyre, right? Derek Deese. So it's Jerry Rice, of course. So it just goes back to exactly Steve Young knowing exactly how this offense is supposed to be run. I guarantee he's watching the games and he's saying, geez Louise, this is really bad. I mean, we can't. He's probably thinking as if he was the coach or all the offensive coordinator, say, okay, what would Mike have us run on this down and distance play down inside the red zone? Oh, how come they didn't do it? Oh, you know why? Probably because Jimmy couldn't do it. He probably couldn't roll out that way. Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So that's why, to your point, now bouncing off and going after Trey Lance, I like it because Trey Lance brings those intangibles that Steve Young once had. Not saying he's going to be the next Steve Young, but I see the critical factors in his game to where it does make sense. So people who are doubting you on Trey Lance, hey, he could possibly be the play. I wouldn't be shocked. And you bring up great points. So thank you so much on that. And I really appreciate your insight on that. And we'll be in touch soon. I like talking to you. I like talking to you for us Ultra Report. And again, follow this guy. He's on YouTube, 49ers Ultimate Report. And it's John Jay. John Jay, thank you for joining us on the show today. I appreciate it, my man.
And no problem, man. And one last quick thing, and then I'll let you go so you can talk everybody. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, it's a headache. Basically, this whole week, I made 3 videos on Jimmy Garoppolo alone.
Yeah.
So for us, 49er fans, the quarterback position is always going to be whoever wears that uniform, Joe Montana, Steve Young. So
right.
Hopefully Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, whoever, Justin Fields, when they make one interception or they fumble the ball, they're going to get, from the 49er fans, oh, come on. Oh, we should have kept Garoppolo. So don't get too upset if we keep Jimmy Garoppolo, because at least he gives us the best chance to win. And then over time, we can move on slowly away from him. And that's how I see it. I don't think we're going to trade him, because if we do trade him, you're going to get some players that are going to we're going to opt out. And one big player who may make a huge problem is George Kittle. George Kittle is the captain of that offense. If George Kittle said, oh, I'm going to opt out and not play because, we had a good opportunity, don't be surprised if Fred Warner is next, Kyle Juszczyk, and Trent Williams. That's why I'm very careful when trade him. Look what happened in Philadelphia, week 17. The coach took out the quarterback, Hurts, 2 days later, the coach got fired.
Right.
Players have a lot of power, and that's the reason why I think they're keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, because don't be surprised. I know this team is very tight. They're close, but, be really careful what you wish for, because when Colin Kaepernick was playing, horrible, everyone attacked him. His teammates attacked him. But when he was playing really well, everyone supported him. So it's really hard, and we have to be really careful, because I don't want that situation after Jim Harbaugh left, a huge exodus.
Right. No, I've been there inside that locker room, and I know the players. I can tell you this: George Kittle will not hold out. A lot of these players will not. Fred Warner will not hold out. He might hold out in a contract extension if he gets franchise tagged, but I don't see him holding out. Because Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded. Ultimately, I think everyone's on the same page, knowing, hey, look, the 49ers are doing everything they can to make sure that their future is opening up that Super Bowl window. Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, as much as everyone wants to say, Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback, well, that's true today, but tomorrow may not be true. And ultimately, I don't see George Kittle holding out. I don't think that's in his bloodlines to go ahead and do that. I just don't see that happening, knowing the George Kittle that I know. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I just don't see that playing out. Now, would I be surprised if some of these other players maybe turn the other cheek? Yes, but again, I don't see any player specifically holding out because Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded. It's kind of like going back to the early 90s. Remember when Jimmy Johnson was fired by the Dallas Cowboys, right? He won Super Bowls and he was fired, and then they brought in who was it? Who was the other? Barry Switzer, right? They brought in Barry Switzer. And Michael Irvin was pissed off. Emmitt Smith was, of course, pissed off. And obviously Troy Aikman. Everyone was just mad at Jerry Jones. But they never, held out, or they never did anything. They rolled with the punches. So I think, especially with the 49ers locker room, the way I know the 49ers locker room, I don't think they're going to hold out. Now, I'm not saying it will. Now, watch it happen, and you be right and I be wrong. I just don't see that happening. But again, time will tell. We really don't know. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and I really appreciate it, man.
All right, man. I'll see you later another time. And remember, like his channel and give him more subscribers. This guy needs to be growing, all right? All right, man. Thanks very much for having me on.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Take it easy, man. Mahalo. All right. So we have a question from BEASTwriter family. Cool, genuine Phil. Hey, Beast, I have read that the Patriots are not considering trading a first-round pick for Jimmy G, as the Niners are requesting. Yes, that is true. And I said this on earlier podcasts. Even before this news came out, I said, watch, the Niners are going to ask for a first-round pick. And what are they doing? Now they're asking for a first-round pick. And ultimately, I said they're not going to get a first-round pick. And if they do, would I be shocked? No, because there's one team that's going to do it. It's the Patriots. I said ultimately it's going to be a day 2 pick. Look for number 46 to be going to the San Francisco 49ers if Jimmy Garoppolo was to be moved to the New England Patriots. Right now, the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo is not being traded is because they're holding out, hoping for a first-round pick. But ultimately, no NFL team is going to yield a first-round pick for a damaged quarterback who may or may not be healthy for a full 17-game schedule, let alone a 16-game schedule. All right. Bob Money. Hopefully with the 3rd pick, we get Zach Wilson. That would be a play. I would like that. And again, if you want to call into the live stream, go ahead and you can do that. Just go to the StreamYard.com and click that link in the bio. Not in the bio, excuse me. Open that new link in the web browser, and you'll be able to chat with me there. All right, Bassy HD. I'd still be good to have a good mid-round linebacker like Cam McGrone of Michigan in case Warner or Greenlaw get hurt. Okay, let's see here. We got some good comments all up in here. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. People are talking about Lawrence's game plan. Here we go. Tobin Urs from BEASTwriter family. If we get rid of Jimmy, we really need a veteran backup. Definitely. So you have to have a good plan B option. Whoever that quarterback is, basically, if I'm the GM, like I said, I like talking as if I'm the GM because you have to think like one if you're going to make these power play moves and analyze these moves. If you were to move on from Jimmy G, right, you save $23.6 million in cap savings. You can roll over that money, giving Fred Warner an extension. You can also possibly go after an edge rusher like a Jadeveon Clowney. I know people aren't high on Jadeveon Clowney, but right now, his ceiling and his asking price has come down a lot because he's still on the open market. you can get him at a 1-year deal at a bargain rate. Clowney and Bosa, I would roll with that. I would roll with Clowney and Bosa on the edges. Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw on the inside, wouldn't you? And then you have the 46th overall pick. Could you just wipe your hands clean of Jimmy Garoppolo? Got a second round pick. We're not talking first round pick. So now you hold 43 and 46. You can manipulate the draft how you see fit on day 2 because, again, you only have 2 picks in between those 43 and 46 to where if you think you can get a guy at 46, you can trade number 43, move back, gain more draft capital, and then you can help your future out that way on day 2 and possibly even day 3 or even possibly even to the following year's draft to regain draft capital from making those earlier trades that you did with the Miami Dolphins, moving up from 12 to 3, yielding 3 first-round picks and that additional third rounder in return. So maybe you can recoup that third rounder too. Interesting point. All right. Let's see here. We got here. Well, we got a lot of stuff. Oh, Hucking Buffalo Bolo says, Penei Sewell with the 3rd pick and Kellen Mond 2nd round. Penei Sewell with the 3rd pick. I don't see that happening. Penei Sewell would have to play the right tackle position, and that's already taken by right tackle Mike McGlinchey. Obviously, we don't know if he's going to be picked up his 5th-year option, but you already invested so much money in left tackle, blindside left tackle Trent Williams. I don't see that playing out. I think that would be a horrible move by San Francisco to give up all that draft capital for a guy like Penei Sewell, who I think might potentially go in the 8 to 9 range, might even fall out of the top 10 based on how these quarterbacks get pushed up the board. 4 quarterbacks can potentially go off the board in the first 4 picks. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. If that happens, all these top tier players on the vertical board will start slipping, and then you'll see the shakeup of the NFL draft start to occur there. All right. Let's see here. We got Lunaris is still at right tackle is not good. Yes, I don't think so either. Nate Flores says stop it. Lunar Mystic says just because Penei is a left tackle doesn't mean he could play right tackle. Tommy Huxley says Sewell can play any side, but he is a left tackle. Yeah. Exactly. I guess we were on the same page, guys. All right, so we are catching up on some stuff. Again, if you want to call into the live stream, just go ahead and do that. I went ahead and discussed all my discussions as it pertains to Jimmy Garoppolo possibly being traded back to the England Patriots. You guys know I said this during the year as the season was going on. I put this out, and you guys are like, why are you putting this out there? Not you personally, but people who are on it, like, why would you even put this out there? It's not happening. I'm like, okay. And so I said the Patriots would be asking, the Niners would be asking for first-round pick, but the Niners would likely settle for a day 2 pick because that's what they got in return or gave up return for Jimmy Garoppolo. Fast forward to today, why would any team yield a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo when, in fact, the 49ers didn't even do that to get him? And furthermore, now he's damaged goods, and you have a larger sample size to pull from than before he was traded by the New England Patriots to the San Francisco 49ers. Just doesn't make sense. So it's going to be a day 2 pick. Second-round pick, I think it's going to be the play. I think it's funny how the Niners want a first-round pick because they're not going to get that. And that's why they're holding out, because they're hoping for someone to be dumb enough to give a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo in case no one's going to do that. Now watch the Patriots do it. Oh, my gosh. All right. Oh, Forktail Devil 38J says, don't forget Bubba Paris. Yeah, Bubba Paris, was he on the team in 1994? I don't believe he was starting on the team in 1994, on that 1994 team of the offensive line. If I remember correctly, it was Bart Oates at center coming from the New York Giants, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Jesse Sapolo. You had Guy McIntyre. You had Derek Deese. And Frank Pollock. Was Frank Pollock the other guy? I don't think Bubba Paris was on that starting offensive line, but I could be wrong. Double check with me on that. All right. Jerry Yang says, go Niners for us, ultimate report. Tommy Huxley, call Cali Bill. I wouldn't worry. We ain't drafting Macarol Jones. You guys are so mean when it comes to Mac Jones. People were sending me his dad bod, and you guys already know I'm into fitness. And you look at Tom Brady had a dad bod too. Didn't he? I remember looking at Tom Brady when he had his shirt off. I was like, man, what am I looking at here? But hey, that just goes to show that a lot of it's eye candy. You don't have the biggest muscles. You don't have to have the 8-pack. You don't have to have the triceps, the traps, the biceps. You don't need all that. If you win Super Bowls, who cares? So a lot of it is just eye candy. You look at somebody and be like, oh, man, that guy's big. Someone reported, I'm not going to repeat. I saw on Twitter, somebody said, Zaven Collins is big. He's not small. I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, what are you looking at, dude? I don't see any muscle on him at all. Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. I don't see it. You want to know a guy who looks like eye candy? Look at Sean Oakman. Guy's a beast. You guys are probably wondering, who's Sean Oakman? Look up Sean Oakman. That guy, if you want to look at just eye candy, just the eye test, beast. Beast. All right. Brandon Green from the BEASTwriter said, people ain't going to opt out because Jimmy is traded. He lost the lock. Yeah, I don't think so either, man. I agree with you on that. Schoolwork from the BEASTwriter family. I don't think players would. Yeah, I don't think so either. I thought it was interesting. And again, I know talk with players, coaches and so forth. You guys know this. I just don't see it. That locker room is too strong for that to happen. Too strong for that to happen. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was a betting man, I'd roll the dice on saying no one's going to opt out because Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded. Now watch him get traded and people opt out. Beast, you said that. You were wrong, bro. Yeah. Rep the Bay from the BEASTwriter family. Kittle had CJ and Jimmy throwing him the ball his whole career. He doesn't know what a good quarterback looks like. That will change soon. Wow. Ouch. Ouch. Jimmy is overrated. Mark Severa from Facebook says nobody's holding out if Garoppolo gets traded. Yes, I agree. That is true. That is true. Look, everyone's pretty much on point. The team won't hold because the team knows the organization is trying to put the exactly my points. I'm reading these comments. I should have saw this in real time. You guys all agree with me. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Why would it happen? All right, Romero Puente says they have to draft Fields, period. Lynch and Kyle are wrong. I prefer drafting Pitts before I draft Lance or Jones. Interesting. Romero Puente says, I like CB's Eric Stokes or Tyson Campbell from Georgia in the second round and Quentin Miners in the third round. I like Quentin Miners. I like him a lot. Dave Maganon says, Beast, we need more legit weapons on offense, running back or wide receiver. What players do you like in the second round that can help us get that sixth ring? I'm a firm believer in going after a running back. I love running backs, maybe because I'm short. I don't know. I really like Javonte Williams out of UNC. I did a podcast on that, an earlier content video on Javonte Williams, making the case for Javonte Williams. If you want to see that, you can go ahead and just head over to that and see what I had to say on that. Just type in, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this again, but basically it's what you do. Just type in BEASTwriter Javonte Williams, right? And you will see everything I had to say about that. I don't think he's a perfect fit for what Kyle Shanahan likes to do, because at the end of the day, here it is on the ticker. Just type in BEASTwriter Javonte Williams on YouTube search, and it'll pop up. I like what he brings to the table. I think he's more suited for a power-based run scheme, so he is scheme-dependent. However, with that being said, I wouldn't be shocked if Shanahan could use him as a one-cut zone blocking scheme back. I like what Javonte Williams brings to the table, and if not him, don't sleep on Michael Carter, his teammate who started in front of Javonte Williams over at North Carolina. I like both those running backs. Javonte Williams, I'm a little bit higher than I am Michael Carter, but Michael Carter would be a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense. So any one of those North Carolina running backs would be awesome, because the 49ers have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since Frank Gore left back in 2014. And that's some food for thought. You guys can be sitting at the dinner table as you're watching these live streams and say, you know what? BEASTwriter said the 49ers have not had 1,000-yard rushers since Frank Gore left in 2014. There's some food for thought for you as you're having your Easter celebration. By the way, happy Easter to everyone. I know people are celebrating it. It's not Easter Sunday yet, but I know people are out having barbecues. Be safe, everyone. And hope you're enjoying this live stream as you're having good times with your family right now. But yeah, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter. I love both those guys. From a wide receiver standpoint, I don't think they need a wide receiver as a pressing need because they already have invested in Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Now, people are bearish on Deebo Samuel because he wasn't healthy. I like Deebo Samuel. I think he's going to bounce back. I think he'll be fine. I think we need to pump the brakes on just like saying Deebo Samuel's injury prone is just 1 year. So if he has another year that he's injured, then yes, then we can start saying he's injury prone, but it's just 1 year. Same thing goes with Nick Bosa. So pump the brakes on the wide receiver position. There's only enough footballs to go around. You already have George Kittle there, and you have Kyle Juszczyk, who you just invested money. So hopefully he gets more targets coming out of the flats. So, and if you're bringing in a guy at a wide receiver, he'll probably be the 4th or 5th best option at wide receiver. I don't see that being a play in the second round. That's just not enough value for me from a GM standpoint to go ahead and make that play. Running back is a different story because, again, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson cannot sustain a full 16-game schedule, let alone a 17-game schedule. So with that being said, I need a stable workhorse back that I know can stay healthy for a full 17-game schedule and a deep playoff run. Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, bring in those fresh legs and let's see what they can do. Thank you so much for your question. I appreciate it, Dave. All right. We have a lot of stuff here. All right. Drew Burrows from the BEASTwriter family says Fields or Lynch will be the pick 100. Yeah, I said it was going to be Fields. Again, there's a lot of smoke screens. Why is Justin Fields not in conversation? Why is Zach Wilson not in conversations? But why is Mac Jones in conversations? Pointed out earlier, could be driving up the interest for the New England Patriots saying, hey, we know you want Jimmy Garoppolo. We also know you like Mac Jones. So we hold the cards. We can get both those players. So which one do you want? Because this is a huge smokescreen. I don't think they're going to go after Mac Jones. You don't trade up from 12 to 3 to go after a guy like Mac Jones. You just don't do that. I think it's ultimately going to be Justin Fields if Zach Wilson comes off the board to the New York Jets at number 2. I am A-Trax from the BEASTwriter family. Got to get cornerback in 2nd or 3rd round. Let him develop and let Verrett leave next year and start the new guy. Trade Jimmy G for an early 2nd and get that quarterback. I am with you there. I like that line of thinking. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great analysis there. Mark from the BEASTwriter family says, Beast, Niners need to focus on a 3-down back. Thank you so much. Mostert and Wilson can't stay healthy and can't be relied upon, especially with a rookie quarterback potentially starting. We need to focus on the run game. Yes, more. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, make it happen. Hey, Travis Etienne is going to be off the board in the 1st round. Najee Harris probably going to be off the board in the 1st round or the tail end of the 1st round, top of the 2nd. Especially with the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting there at number 24. He would be a perfect fit in the Steel Nation city. I look for it to be somebody like a Javonte Williams, if not a Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter a lot for Kyle Shanahan's one-cut scheme. All right. We have Mark Salad.
Like
how are you doing today?
If not Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter a lot for Kyle Shanahan's one-cut
No, you're good.
scheme. All right. We have Mark.
Lower
How you doing? I'm trying to turn off the I got you on a second.
Okay, I'll put it off. I'll put it off and I'll have. Are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm good now.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hey, love your show. I'm always I'm telling Grant Cohn all the time, you got to have BEASTwriter back on, but you're too busy, man. You're doing your own thing now. It's
man. There's construction going on. We're usually on Wednesdays, and if you look at my podcast, like some days I don't even do a podcast because we have construction going on. So, busy's being one thing, but yeah, construction's a huge part of it. So hopefully we can hop back on, but that won't be on for I don't know. Construction is going on probably until May or June or something like that. So
right,
yeah. How you doing though?
I'm good. I'm good. The reason why I'm calling in is, and I've just started changing my thinking on this because I was on board with you with the 49ers not done making moves to get Wilson at 2. And but now I'm starting to think more and more as things have adjusted. The consensus from what I'm finding in listening to ex-coaches and scouts and what have you is that probably Trey Lance is the smartest quarterback on the board right now. They say he's awesome on the chalkboard. And if you think about
there's something ringing on the background. Is that your side?
Hold on. Okay, there we go. Anyway, my wife tried to get in touch with me, but I just got on.
You don't want the wife on the show.
No. So anyway, so if you really think about who Kyle's liked in the past between Cousins and even Mullins, he likes the X's and O brain the most about those guys, in my opinion. And I think that if, in fact, Trey Lance is really the X's and O's guy, and he runs a lot of plays similar and exactly like Shanahan runs, can he be talked into it if we keep Jimmy for this year and maybe institute some, Taysom Hill type packages for Lance this year while he's getting on board with the offense? But I think he may be the smartest quarterback in the draft, and his potential is fantastic. What are your thoughts?
Hit it on the nail. I think Trey Lance has the most potential of any quarterback coming out of this draft class. Like I said, he's a proverbial boom or bust prospect. He's either going to be looking like the best quarterback to come out of this draft class when we look back 10 years from now and be like, you know what, Trey Lance was the real deal. Or we can be like, Trey Lance was what we thought he was, a raw project coming in who never developed into that potential. The ceiling is high, but the floor, I mean, you're looking at a guy who you really don't know what you're getting. When it comes to cerebrally getting it from the head and shoulders up, when it comes to Kyle Shanahan, I do agree with you that that's the one thing he looks for is how smart is the quarterback. And that's why I believe Mac Jones is possibly in play here, because out of all the quarterbacks, I would say he's the smartest of all of them.
Okay.
I would say Mac Jones, I mean, maybe because I'm a Roll Tide fan, but after talking to coaches, and I have friends who are coaches in the SEC, who are on Alabama's coaching staff, who are on LSU's coaching staff, who coach in the Big Ten, and coach against Mac Jones. This guy is very bright. Okay. Very bright in all three levels. And I think you're doing a disservice here when you're saying, oh, Mac Jones had a strong offensive line, he had a good running game, and he had a stable wide receivers. Well, that's the SEC every single year. So what are you really trying to say? Because the SEC is the SEC in the powerhouse for a reason. They are the standard in all of college football for a reason. There's a reason SEC comes out on top more times than not, winning championships, coming out of the football playoff with championships, aside from the Big Ten. So putting all that together, what you're getting with a guy like Mac Jones, and why I believe Kyle Shanahan may be bullish on Mac Jones, is simply because from the shoulders up, he goes through his progressions. He doesn't force the ball downfield. He lives to play another down. If you give him a play on the whiteboard, he can break it down after the first time you show him, and then also counter that. Well, if this doesn't happen, then what do you look for here? Okay, what if all these options, then what are you going to do? He will, on the drop of a dime, oh, this is what I would do. Like, he gets it.
Yeah.
When it comes to Trey Lance, I like his game. People think that I am not high on Trey. I am high because, hey, like I just said, he could be the best quarterback coming out of this draft when we look back 10 years from now and be like, wow, this guy is the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I get it. Yeah.
But he's so raw, and like when you're trying to compare talent, and he's not going up against FBS talent, and then you have to convert that again at the pro level. That's too many layers of the onion to really feel exactly what are you getting, because the talent level wasn't there. So we are projecting how he's going to be at the NFL level. Whereas if you look at a guy like Mac Jones coming out of SEC, you don't have to go one layer and be like, okay, so how can that's where the discrepancy lies. Now, is it unfair? Yes, but that's at the end of the day, that's what scouts do. They have to project, like Quinn Miners, right? Coming out of Division III school.
Yeah, I like him.
We like him
too. He can play guard too.
We like him.
Yeah.
But we didn't like him before the Senior Bowl.
Right.
Because no one knew who the heck he was.
Right? He got invited, right? He wasn't even supposed to play or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm just saying. It's like, you never know. Never know. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because this is a make or break pick for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch regime. Right. They're both married to whoever this pick is. And if there's a power struggle there where John Lynch, who I believe may be on the hot seat, I know that's not too many people are talking about this, but I broke it down in my earlier podcast as to why.
I think he is.
Right? There's a reason why Adam Peters was promoted to what is it? Assistant GM?
Yeah.
Like, why would you have that title of assistant GM if you're not in line to be a GM?
Right.
Why wouldn't it be called assistant vice president of player or something like that? Right.
Right.
Why assistant GM? So GM John Lynch, I mean, he really wants Trey Lance or whoever. If he wants somebody, he's going to be like, you know what? If I'm going out, I want my guy.
Right.
I want to be tied fate. I'm going to tie my fate to the guy that I want. Because if we tie my fate to the guy you want, I'm going to be really pissed off because that's not the guy I wanted, but yet I'm still out of a job.
Right. So go ahead. Were you going to finish your point?
No, I just think it's funny.
Yeah. So, you're the GM then, and you know your job's on the line. I mean, would you then for sure trade up and get Zach Wilson to be sure?
Jeez.
If you had to be sure.
Okay, here's the thing. I you saw my earlier podcast. You know, Fred Warner Sr. follows me on my podcast.
Yeah.
One of my biggest supporters. So he agrees with me, right? He agrees with me. I'm not saying Fred Warner is going to get traded to the New York Jets, but it's a possibility. Ultimately, I just doubled down on that and said, you know what? I think after thinking long and hard, I don't think they're going to do that. What I've made the trade, let's go back in time a little bit. What I've made the trade from 12-3 to give up 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to move up to number 3 overall. No, I would not have made that trade in the first place. But since I'm stuck in that position, and let's say I'm going into that position today, like let's say the 49ers made me GM today, and I'm stuck in this position at number 3. I have to go quarterback. I can't go anything else. I can't select Jamar Chase, who I want, who's the best player on my board. I can't do that. It doesn't make sense. Based on the draft capital I gave up. If I'm going after a quarterback, is that guy going to be Zach Wilson? No, because I'm not going to trade Fred Warner. Okay. I'm not going to trade Fred Warner. So I'm not doing that. So ultimately, it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to, well, not Mac Jones, I'll tell you that. It's going to come down to Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Those are my only 2 options. And if I was to make a play where there's going to be Trey Lance or Justin Fields, I'm going to go with a safer pick because this is my last year if I'm GM John Lynch. And I'm going to go with the safer guy, and I'm going to go after Justin Fields, even though I know Trey Lance has more potential because I may not be there to see that potential come to fruition.
Yeah, I get it.
So, so there's a little bit of a conflict of interest here now that people aren't talking about. This is what the BEASTwriter family is all about. You got to think as if you were in that position and take it a step further. You can't just say, oh, yeah, I think they'll go after. Again, John Lynch is feeling the pressure. You feel it. If there's a power struggle there, that's not good in San Francisco.
No. And that's what he's dealing with right now because Kyle's going to take who he wants to take at this point unless he gets convinced otherwise. Last question.
Yes.
Is it completely out of line to think that something like a Bosa trade to get the number 1 pick?
So I've been told, and I just talked to someone close within the 49ers organization. I talked to him, I think yesterday, actually. Nick Bosa is not going to get traded. Fred Warner is not going to get traded.
Okay.
So that technically would be considered breaking news, but you're hearing it here on this live stream. I like to break stuff without.
Yeah, that's why I come here.
So no, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, they're not getting traded.
All right.
Let's now watch them get traded. As we speak, Fred Warner. Oh, Beast, you're wrong. But ultimately, Nick Bosa is not gonna be moved at all. So we can put that to rest. You heard it here first on the BEASTwriter family. I don't see that happening.
It would be nice if they picked up Jadeveon Clowney though too. In addition, somehow, like you said, if they end up unloading Garoppolo at some point and freeing up that cap space, man, getting Jadeveon Clowney this year would be monster good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Clowney would be a nice play. And again, what are your thoughts on keeping Jimmy Garoppolo for 1 more year? I mean, here you are having a quarterback under contract who really doesn't want to be there, even though he won't say that publicly, because I know Jimmy Garoppolo is very professional.
Yeah.
If you ever met Jimmy Garoppolo, let me tell you something about Jimmy Garoppolo. One of the most professional, well-spoken, well-respected guys inside that locker room. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy, both on and off the football field. That's why the players love him, because he's so humble.
Right.
Even when he was having that success, you never saw him, lavishly go crazy or anything. He was always very humble. That says a lot about who he is as a person and the background and family that he comes from. But Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, I think he needs a fresh start. I think it's fair for him to give him a fresh start. Because again, if you're only keeping him for 1 more year, what's your return on your investment? It's not much. Whereas if you get rid of him now, you at least get something back in return. You get $23.6 million in cap savings. To your point, going after a guy like Jadeveon Clowney because his edge class is weak sauce, as I always say. And so now you get a top 10 edge rusher People talk about the sacks, but hey, you have to break it down brick by brick, snap by snap. I have my own grading system. I don't rely on PFF. You know that.
He'd get 12 sacks with the 49ers, guaranteed.
Oh, bro. He would get you know what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney is a monster.
Yeah.
And he's a sleeping giant ready to be in the right situation.
He's great against the run, and he's fast. He can run down the quarterbacks. I mean, the guy's just like crazy good. But hey, I can go on and on, but I'm gonna let you catch up with other people. But hey, this is a blast. I'm definitely coming back on again, and love listening to you every day, brother. I really do.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for love. Mahalo, bro. Mahalo. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, we are going to go on. What do you guys think about Jadeveon Clowney to the San Francisco 49ers? I think I might put a podcast up on that. Jadeveon Clowney, to me, teamed up with Nick Bosa on the opposite side would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. And again, we just heard from Mark. He agrees. A lot of you guys agree. And don't put too much stock on these lack of sack numbers. Again, I have my own grading system. And you guys know I formulate my own grades. I don't rely on PFF. I'm telling you, Jadeveon Clowney from a pass rushing standpoint would be head and shoulders above a guy like D Ford, even when healthy. Jadeveon Clowney would be awesome. He would definitely be awesome. So thank you so much, Mark, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right. Jason Zhu from the BEASTwriter family says, we literally can draft Jones at 12. Yes, that's true. And before I go ahead and move on, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your generosity and sending me super chats. I really appreciate it. Robert Watson, a few other you guys that are sending super chats. I just got one right now. It looks like Ollie Bear. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate your generosity. So people are wondering, what is a super chat? Well, this is a super chat or a super sticker. So if you like the work, like the channel, like the BEASTwriter family we're striving to build, consider sending me a super chat. All funds will be proceeded and funneled back into the BEASTwriter family, which will provide us better audio equipment, better visual, better software, and then also help keep up with the BEASTwriter family Friday giveaways. All right. Thank you so much, Ollie Bear, and I appreciate your generosity. You said, did you hear Mike Shanahan went to Fields and Lance's pro days? Belichick and McDaniels talking to Kyle Shanahan at Jones's pro days. Smokescreen will end up with Fields and Jimmy goes to Patriots. You're right. Mahalo. Yes. Thank you so much. And that's exactly how I see playing out. I don't think that the 49ers would trade up to number 3 for a guy like Mac Jones. And here we are talking about it on Easter weekend about Mac Jones possibly being the play at number 3. Let's not get it twisted. That is total BS. All right, here, let me show you something, okay? One, you guys know I'm a huge Roll Tide fan, all right? I'm a huge Roll Tide fan. You guys know this, all right? Let me tell you something. This is not a slide on Mac Jones, but he's not going to be the pick at number 3. Now watch him be the pick. But what I'm saying is it doesn't make financial sense to go ahead and mortgage your future for a guy like Mac Jones where you could have got him at 6 or 7 by trading with the Philadelphia Eagles, which the Miami Dolphins did anyways, trading back up to number 6, right? So wouldn't they trade with number 6? Because odds are the Atlanta Falcons aren't going to go after a guy like Mac Jones because they can't, because they have Matt Ryan there who's tied under his contract. And with new GM Terry Fontenot there, he went on the Huddle and Flow podcast with Steve Weiss and Jim Trotter, and he said, and didn't say, he's like, we always brew competition, but he didn't give a definite answer on which direction he would go in the draft. Well, he comes from the Ozzie Newsome ideology of selecting best player available. If you're sitting there at 4, Mac Jones is not the best player available at number 4. So you really got to do your due diligence and look at it and take it for what it's worth and then dig deep. Peel back layers of the onion to get to the core exactly what is going on in all 32 NFL teams. Because you can't just look at your team and say, oh yeah, they're going to do this. You have to look at what the teams are doing in front of you and what the teams are doing behind you. And how do you gain leverage? By putting out smoke screens, driving up interest for a player you may not want, but then hide interest in the player that you actually do want. So the Jets, who are probably looking at this, who are sitting at 2, be like, oh, you know what? The Niners want Trey Lance and Mac Jones. Here we are on Easter weekend, and they'll probably have discussions with their family, looking at our phone, watching this live stream, and saying, is that true? Because I thought all along that they wanted Justin Fields. I thought all along that they wanted somebody else, Zach Wilson. So should we possibly look at some of the guys like Mac Jones, since we have a higher draft position, like Mac Jones or Trey Lance instead of Zach Wilson? Or are we set on Zach Wilson? Joe Douglas probably be like, you know what, dude? Stop. We're going after Zach Wilson. This is just a huge smokescreen, Robert Saleh. Don't buy into the smoke. Boom. Done. Jared Jones says, I like Clowney. Yes, me too. I like Clowney too. Fernando Perez from the BEASTwriter family. They should take Lance at 3, trade Jimmy for a second this year, and use the pick for another quarterback like Trask or Mond later. I'm not high on Trask or Mond. Just telling you right now. I'm not high on any one of those guys. Just not high on them. Jerry Yang says, Clowney is awesome, but the injury risk is a concern. Yes, he would be, but that's why you get him on a low-risk, high-reward type of a contract. Clowney is a beast. Jason Zhu. Yes, he is. All right, Alexander DeLeon says Clowney is an animal. Yes. Fortnite's Ultimate Report says, I want to clarify that I wasn't saying Kittle Warner would opt out if Jimmy G is traded, but there can be the case that some Niners will not be happy, and they may question the move, wanting to clarify it. Yes, thank you for your clarification. Fortnite's Ultimate Report ultimately saying that that it's not going to happen, but some players would question the move. I can agree with that. And definitely agree with him on that. So he just wanted to clear that up. Thank you so much for his Ultimate Report for, again, hopping on the BEASTwriter family live stream. Don Lovato. I like that last name, Lovato. Just want to say Lovato. Happy Easter weekend, he says, from the BEASTwriter family. So you think the Patriots will give up for first pick for Jimmy G or swap quarterbacks? I don't think they will give up a first-round pick. I think they'll give up a second-round pick. Ultimately, this is how I see it playing out. The 49ers are going to draft the quarterback of their choice, whether that's Mac Jones, whether it's Trey Lance, or it's Zach Wilson. Gosh dang it. Who else is out there? I don't care who the quarterback is. They're going to draft a quarterback at 3 or with their first round pick. If they trade back, still get whatever. You guys get the picture. They're going to draft their first pick. It's going to be a quarterback. They're going to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because they would be dumb not to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because, again, you would have so much money in cap savings, $23.6 million. You can then roll over that savings, giving Fred Warner a contract extension because he's going to help reset the market next year in that 2018 draft class with guys like Roquan Smith, who was drafted number 8 by the Chicago Bears, playing at a first-team all-pro level in my grading system. You also have other guys in that 2018 draft class who are going to help reset the market. You have Tremaine Edmonds from the Buffalo Bills. You also have third-round pick Darius Leonard from the Indianapolis Colts. So with that being said, wouldn't you want to re-sign the best middle linebacker in the NFL before those guys hit the market? Absolutely. Then you can go ahead and use the remaining savings and go after a guy, an edge rusher, potentially a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, who be on a low-risk, high-reward type of a player, one-year deal, and sign him, see how he does next to Nick Bosa on the other end, and then move Eric Armstead inside with Javon Kinlaw. That is one deadly defensive line combo. That could be the best defensive line in the NFL, hands down. And people say, oh, I hate Eric Armstead. Hey, look, he is Dana Stubblefield 2.0. Let's not get it twisted. But if you have Jadeveon Clowney and Nick Bosa on the outside with Eric Armstead, Dana Stubblefield 2.0 on the inside, with Javon Kinlaw, who I said is going to have a breakout campaign with 5 to 9 sacks, even without Clowney in the picture, that's the best defensive line in the NFL, arguably. If you disagree, let me know, because I will bust out with facts and I'll break it down brick by brick on the other 31 other NFL teams, and you will have to tell me and mention one team who will be a stronger defensive line than the San Francisco 49ers with Clowney in the lineup. Sanjo Sunny. Yeah, I like it if we picked up Clowney, but I don't know if we'll have it. And yes, his sack numbers were low last year. He had minor surgery affected issues he was having last year on our team. Unstoppable. Look at that. Tommy Huxley. I'd love to have Big Clowney. Who would not love to have Jadeveon Clowney on the roster? I'm just going to put this right here, man. I mean, Clowney is a beast, right? Jadeveon Clowney. Now watch people piggyback on my analysis and then put up a podcast or live stream about it. Jadeveon Clowney to 49ers? But you heard it here first in the BEASTwriter family. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, guys. All right. Jadalco 26. Jimmy G is not going anywhere. He will have a make or break year. Next year, he will either be traded for a first round pick or released. What's your opinion on this prediction, Beast? Thank you so much for chiming in, Jadalco 26. I love your avatar. Awesome. Reminds me of Alan Walker. I'm a huge EDM fan. If you guys didn't know that, yes, I love going to raves. I love EDM. EDM is legit. I like you. Remind me of Alan Walker. I love that. Your avatar, that is. But getting back to your picture. Getting back to the prediction that you pointed out, I can see that playing out. However, I think it's best, and I believe that Jimmy Garoppolo will ultimately be moved and traded on draft day to the New England Patriots for a second round pick, a day 2 pick, second, third round pick, a day 2 pick. You guys get the picture. Ultimately, that pick might be number 46. And when you look at the favorable draft position, it's very favorable in the 49ers' favor to go ahead and make that play for a multitude of different reasons that I just pointed out. Cap savings, using that cap savings on re-signing Fred Warner, and then going after an edge rusher because its edge class is weak, so you don't want to invest a draft capital pick on one of those edge rushers who really wouldn't be a high-round pick in any other given draft. Go after a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, a proven talent. Yes, he's injury-prone, but if you get him on a one-year prove-it deal, he may be able to revive his career with Nick Bosa on the opposite side and with Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw up front. That's just one beastly of a defensive line. I am telling you right now. Games are won down in the trenches. You guys know how I feel about that. From the inside out, not the outside in. We can go on and talk about this day in and day out. I'm telling you right now, Jadeveon Clowney to the 49ers would do so much for that defense, and especially with new defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans there. It makes the secondary much better. Emmanuel Mosley has less time to cover. It'll give Jason Verrett more time to make plays on the football because the quarterback will likely not live to play another down and make some ill-advised throws that can result in interceptions and pick sixes. You already have Fred Warner on the second level, teamed up with Dre Greenlaw and Samson Ebukam, who can also blitz off the edge. I mean, come on, guys. K'Waun Williams, let's not talk about him, but we can go ahead and do that. He's back on a one-year deal. Obviously, we know what he brings in run support and then also as a blitzing nickelback position player. So if you're DeMeco Ryans, why would you not want a guy like Jadeveon Clowney on your roster? Why would you not? I don't know why Jadeveon Clowney is still on the open market, because if he wants more money than what teams are willing to give him, then that's the reason. But no team's going to give it. Ultimately, he has to settle. He did it last year with the Tennessee Titans. What did he want? Like $20 million last year, and all of a sudden his asking price went down and down and down and down. And then Tennessee Titans got him on a one-year prove-it deal. Same thing can happen this year. Dude, if he goes to the Niners, I'm telling you guys, he's going to put up 10 to 12 sacks. At least 10 to 12 sacks. Bosa, who knows? Bosa can put up 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 sacks. Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw combined can put up at least 20 sacks. I'm telling you. This defensive line can put up 50 to 55 sacks, 60 sacks with Jadeveon Clowney in the lineup. I am telling you right now. And that will translate into wins. And those wins will translate into a deep playoff run. And that deep playoff run can open up that Super Bowl window. Games are won down in the trenches, guys. Remember that. Fernando Obregon from the BEASTwriter family. Love your profile pic, bro. It's Kyle's career on the table. Mac Jones has great accuracy and quicker decision-making. You can't defend or figure that style out. Mobile quarterbacks get figured or injured a la carte RG3. Hashtag facts. Jared Jones from the BEASTwriter family says, Mac Jones isn't good enough. Tony Lewis says Melvin Ingram is a better fit. I would disagree. I don't think Melvin Ingram is a better fit. Melvin Ingram, if you remember, was a first-round pick coming out of the San Diego Chargers. I believe he was drafted number 17 overall, if I'm not mistaken. But he was drafted definitely in the first round. Coming out of South Carolina. He was better suited for a 3-4 scheme under GM Tom Telesco. I still hold that to be true because coming out, my evaluation was he was a tweener, a hybrid between a 3-4 outside linebacker than a 4-3 defensive end. With that being said, I believe Jadeveon Clowney would be a better fit in the wide 9 scheme because now you're matched up one-on-one, and if you're matched up one-on-one with Jadeveon Clowney, 9 times out of 10, Jadeveon Clowney is going to win that matchup. But just my opinion. Tell me why you like Melvin Ingram and why you believe he's a better fit. Tony, thank you so much for your input and analysis. I really appreciate it, bro. Interesting point that you put that out. Not saying you're wrong, not saying you're right. But I would love to hear more about why you feel like Melvin Ingram is a better fit than Jadeveon Clowney. All right, AJ187. I want Fields. I can't imagine how good our offense would be with someone like him. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Jared Jones says you don't trade up for him, as in Mac Jones. Oh, you trade up for Fields or Lance. Absolutely. All right, Tony Lewis says it's a game of chicken between the Jets and the Niners. Yes. Don Lovato says you trade down for him. We have a lot of good questions here. Wow, I'm really behind on these. We have a lot of stuff coming on through. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Big Armo from the BEASTwriter family says all the talk has been how SF fouled up by not getting a Kansas City type quarterback, one with wings on his feet. They will not make the same mistake. Hence, they will go for either Lance or Fields. Jerry Yin says J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, Cards would have a better line. Well, Chandler Jones plays, I believe he plays outside linebacker in that 3-4 scheme. So technically, he's not on the defensive line. And I would argue even with Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt that the Niners would still have a better defensive line with Jadeveon Clowney, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, and Javon Kinlaw. Just my 2 cents. Jay Amunra says, film over stats every day of the week, but I do agree with Trey Lance over Justin Fields. The pick is already locked in at 3 with Trey Lance. Ooh, okay. So Jay Amunra is making the bold prediction that it's Trey Lance all the way. Interesting. All right. Bearded Russian 78. They are tripping on Mac Sauce Jones. Check him out. Another dumpster quarterback of a system that arguably anyone could succeed in. AJ187, Trey Lance, from my understanding, doesn't have the experience so some of these others have. What he played one season, LOL, I don't know. If you waste that much on someone, that might have to be sat due to no experience. Don Lovato, I love that idea of keeping Jimmy G for another year. One more year. Jimmy G, say it with me. One more year. Everybody at Levi Stadium should just go to opening day training camp. And the BEASTwriter family should have a shirt that just says 1 more year on the back of the shirt. And legit, people will be like, I know what you mean. Jimmy Garoppolo is only here for 1 more year. And that would be interesting. 1 more year. And on the back, it will say whoever that quarterback is. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, 1 more year. And on the back, it has that that person, whoever they draft, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson on the back of the jersey. Hey, how does it feel to be here for 1 more year? Man. Brian King, it's all about saving money, Beast. Yup, absolutely. Wow, you guys are mean. Tommy Huxley says Macadamia Jones is Andy Dalton 2.0. Junior Chapman says Kyle Pitts looks like Randy Moss 5.0. I would pump the brakes on that. Again, 2 different positions. Obviously, Kyle Pitts is going to be used more like a wide receiver, much like Travis Kelce is with the Kansas City Chiefs. However, with that being said, Randy Moss had 4.3 speed. And I don't see that with Kyle Pitts' game. The separation, I don't see it. He is a viable deep threat down the seams, but taking the top off of defense, beating that safety over the top, I don't see that. Randy Moss was the best deep threat to ever play this game. Hands down, in my opinion. I loved Randy Moss. Didn't you guys like Randy Moss? I mean, I remember in high school, Randy Moss on the Minnesota Vikings with Jake Reed and Chris Carter, and they had Robert Smith at running back with Randall Cunningham and then Dante Culpepper slinging it. They had what's his name? Clonsicer, the fullback, or whoever the guy's name is. Man, that was crazy to watch. That's some crazy games to watch, man. The Octane offense was ridiculous. AJ187. Maybe that's their plan to keep Jimmy and sitting Lance for a year, but man, that would suck. Hucking Buff Bolo just gave you a sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love and welcome to the BEASTwriter family, Hucking Buff Bolo. Enjoy your show, Beast. I believe in our organization to get us back to the big dance. Go Faithful. Thank you so much, and mahalo, and welcome to the BEASTwriter family where social media engagement is encouraged. Again, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do so. We do Family Friday giveaways every Friday on our live stream, and we are giving away this 49ers Fit founding member. If you guys don't know what 49ers Fit is, it's a San Francisco 49ers gym, the only one here in the Bay Area. and you will be entered to win this giveaway. It's dry fit. It's brand new. You can't get it anywhere else. You can only get it here in the BEASTwriter family. They don't even make them anymore. So holla back at your boy. Thank you so much. And you are automatically entered for the swag giveaway. All right. Jay Amunra says, no one is talking about this, but in my opinion, the Jets are deciding between Trey Lance with the second pick, but it looks like they'll take Zach Wilson, so they'll end up with Trey Lance. I think it's Zach Wilson. Mike Money from the BEASTwriter family. How are you, Beast? Any chance the Bears or Washington football team trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I believe they are both a quarterback away from making the postseason. Happy Easter, bro. Thank you so much, and happy Easter to you, Mike Money from the BEASTwriter family. Let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the analysis as it pertains to all 32 NFL teams. As you guys know, I cover all 32. We take a look at the Chicago Bears and what they did. Let's look at Washington, what they did, right? The Washington football team, which I believe that's still the team name, they got Ryan Fitzpatrick on a 1-year, $10 million deal, if I'm not mistaken, right? A 1-year deal, whatever the case may be. The Chicago Bears, didn't they just they also picked up a stop bridge gap quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, in Andy Dalton from the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, are they going to go after a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo and trade for a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo? Well, I wouldn't put it past me because Ryan Pace is not the best GM. My friends who are Chicago Bears fans, they know that I love roasting Ryan Pace. I don't like Ryan Pace. I think he's a horrible GM for the Chicago Bears. He does have close ties to GM John Lynch, and we also what went down in 2017, where he moved up one spot from Mitchell Trubisky, who's not even on the team anymore. And either is Solomon Thomas. Oh my gosh, what a word! I don't know what was worse. They were both bad moves. Gosh, I wanted Jamal Adams, as I stated in my podcast, but getting back to this podcast, I don't see those guys making a play for Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, they already have their stop bridge gap quarterback. I don't see them bringing in a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, but thank you so much for your question, and happy Easter to you. Gosh, that was horrible. 2017 was nuts, dude. I remember I was at Levi Stadium, and when that trade went down, I was happy that they moved back from 2 to 3, because ultimately I heard that the pick was going to be Solomon Thomas at 2 no matter what. I really wanted Jamal Adams. And I remember telling John Lynch that. I was like, dude, right after the pick was done, I was like, man, you hit a home run with it, man. Good job. But I really wanted Jamal Adams at 3. And I did like the Reuben Foster pick. I will say that. I did tell John Lynch, as we were going into, after the pick was made, gave him a high five. But like, you hit a ballpark with, getting Reuben Foster. I think might be the rookie of the year if he stays healthy and stays out of trouble. And ultimately didn't pan out. But we saw what Reuben Foster potential was. Gosh, dude, if Reuben Foster was to stay out of trouble, man, and stay healthy, oh, we can all wish. All right. Don Lovato says, how are we getting Clowney? Well, you move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. That's how you do it. I would prefer my granddad over Mac Jones. Izzy Slaw says, good call, Ryan. Clowney would be a great signing. Yes. It'd be a sack party. Absolutely. Absolutely. Clowney over Ford any day. Don Lovato from the BEASTwriter family. Here we go. Jared Jones from the BEASTwriter would be a mean defensive line. What about Clay Matthews? He would be a good fit for Ford. No, I don't think. Brian King, thank you so much for your question. I do not believe Clay Matthews would be a good fit for the San Francisco 49ers. One, I think he's better suited for a 3-4 outside linebacker scheme. Secondly, the 49ers run a 4-3 base defense and the wide 9. So with Clay Matthews there, I think at this point in his career, he's not worth investing, especially when the team just signed a 2-year, $12 million deal for Samson Ebukam with the LA Rams, or from the LA Rams. All right. Tommy Huxley says, Clowney doesn't have back issues. Or he doesn't, or does he have back issues? John Mura, in college press, they said they have 3 quarterbacks in mind with the number 3 pick. In my opinion, those quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. Trey means 3. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then how did Mac Jones come into play? Where'd he come in? Christian Gonzalez. Clowney checks all the boxes, specifically the injury-prone perfect fit. Okay. Well, that could be said of a lot of different players. Yes, he's injury prone, but again, if you look at it from a GM's perspective, again, what are you getting? What's the risk versus reward? when you're bringing in a guy on a 1-year prove-it deal, you can structure the deal to where you're setting yourself up financially, protecting yourself for those types of stuff, those types of players. You have injury settlements, right? You have injury clauses in the contract. So when you take that into account, you can obviously set that up. And with Jadeveon Clowney's stock slowly declining because, again, free agency frenzy has died down. Teams are now looking for the draft. You can get a Jadeveon Clowney on a 1-year prove-it deal. If he shines out of control, obviously you can have incentives in his deals using that as motivation for him to stay healthy and say, look, if you stay healthy, if you pick up 10 sacks, you're going to get an extra $3 million on top of your paycheck. That's what I'm saying. Don Lovato said, I love Maddie. It was awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Jason Hugh says, I still remember the old days. Clowney destroyed 49ers himself. Yes, he did. He did. Absolutely. Bill Neffelbig says, Jam, we're going to talk here in New York is that Douglas has turned down the Niners. Okay, so I guess Joe Douglas has turned down the Niners. So they did have discussions for the number 2 overall pick when people said that they didn't. And what I tell you guys, Joe Douglas doesn't do what? He never shows his cards. Thank you, Bill, over in New York. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Junior Chapman, Kyle Pitts is a nightmare. He is a mismatch nightmare. I would agree with that. William Roberts from the BEASTwriter family. Washington football team has a good D-line. Yes, they do. One of the best D-lines in all of football. However, if you have Clowney with the 49ers next to Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, that's one heck of a defensive line. Jerry Ying says, don't forget Samson Ebukam. Yes, but he plays outside linebacker, my man. Trip Aces says, trade Jimmy and the number 3 pick to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. I don't like it. Yo, Beast. Off topic, but what's your top 3 food spots in the Bay Area? Man, top foods. Now we're talking about top 3 food spots when I have to hit the gym in a little bit. I'm just joking with you. My top 3 food spots in the Bay Area. Well, I love to eat. That's why they call me the BEASTwriter. I'm joking. You guys call me the BEASTwriter because we were called beat writers, and then some of the fans said, no, you're a beast because of my fitness grind. So that's how BEASTwriter came to about. I'm also known to be a beast with my food gains, though. If you guys know what I eat a lot. I like Mexican food. I don't know why. I just love Mexican food. I'm at the gym. I'm talking to people about Mexican food. People give me they start rolling their eyes like, oh my gosh, how can you talk about this inside the gym? Like as if it's bad. Like, dude, I love to eat. Is that a problem? Like, who doesn't love Mexican food? Getting back to your question, for carne asada fries, because I went to, San Diego State University, I was always looking for a good carne asada place. And my mouth is watering right now talking about it. There's a place called Taqueria Lorena's in downtown San Jose off 13th Street. That's my go-to for my post-workout gains for a great carne asada fries. I'm going to do some mukbangs. You guys request I do mukbangs. I've been doing them on my Instagram for many years now. You guys seem to like it, but now that you guys follow me on YouTube, you're like, you need to post these on YouTube. I think it'd be a hit. So maybe I'll do a live stream and do a mukbang. I'm not sure. Anyways, carne asada fries over there off 13th Street, Taqueria Lorena's. There's also, if you like enchiladas, beef enchiladas specifically, there's a place off of Winchester. It's called El Amigo Burrito. So if you my mouth is watering. El Amigo Burrito, get the carne asada, the ground beef enchiladas a la carte, and the Spanish rice is amazing there. Those are my 2 go-to spots for Mexican food. Japanese food, I mean, because I'm part Japanese, I hate to say it, I just get tired of eating sushi growing up. So anytime anyone was, hey, you want to get sushi? I'm like, dude, not really though. But there are some good spots. I mean, obviously, what's a good sushi spot here? I mean, Mizzou over by Santana Row, that's always a good spot. But yeah, sushi, it's all right. I mean, I guess because I've grown up on it, you get used to certain types of food. But yeah, it's pretty much it. Mexican food, Filipino food's always good. But yeah, my 3 spots, those were my 2 Mexican spots. What else do I like to eat? I don't know. I love In-N-Out. I know that's kind of sounds cliche, but dude, In-N-Out's my go-to spot. I'm there all the time. In-N-Out. Oh, the kebab shop is also good. I just tried that for the first time 2 days ago. The kebab shop, you can find it off Brokaw Road. or is it Brokaw Road or Brokaw Avenue? Anyways, off Brokaw and Oakland Road, the kebab shop, really good stuff. There's a lot of places. There's a was it House of Teriyaki off of here, off Capitol, is a really good chicken teriyaki. So if you want good chicken teriyaki for a fraction of the price, right off of Capitol is a good place to go get your chicken teriyaki. But yeah, I don't know. I just love to eat. What's your favorite food spots? Here we are talking about very, very good food spots here in the Bay Area. All right. Bill Neffelberg says, Beast Rider is right. They traded up because the Jets didn't want 12. Thank you. The Niners really want Wilson, but Jets turned them down. Thank you, Bill. And again, Bill from New York, thank you so much. I've been telling people this, and people are like, no, you know what you're talking about. Not you specifically. People are watching this, but people who chimed in and don't follow the Beast Rider family. And I said, no, as if I wouldn't know, right? Like, what do I know? And Bill just confirms I was right. Checking off another YouTube receipt. Ding. This is why you guys follow me. I told you guys. Now I'm just saying. Thank you so much, Bill, for pointing this out from New York. Fields, another bus from Ohio State, says, you from Hawaii. My family is originally from Hawaii. I was born and raised here in the South Bay. My grandfather was born in Oahu. I have family out there, of course. My sister lives out there. She's a counselor at KCC Community College. My brother-in-law is out there. My aunts and uncles are out there. So half my family's there, half my family's here. Yes. To get to your point, no. I was born and raised here, but my roots are from there. All right. Are you from Hawaii, though? I want to know if you're from Hawaii. And if you are, what part? Oahu, Kauai, Maui, the Big Island? All right. I can't pronounce your Twitter handle, but I'm going to try it. I'll just call you L or I. Do you think Wilson is a lock to the Jets? And I apologize in advance for butchering your handle. I apologize for that. Do you think Wilson is a lock to the Jets? Haven't heard on them giving up on Darnold just yet. I don't say it's a lock. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens. Heck, they can bypass Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson could potentially fall to the 49ers at number 3. And then at the press conference, oh, you guys got Zach Wilson. That's crazy, huh? When all talk was on Mac Jones on Easter weekend and it was on Trey Lance. Oh, yeah, well, we wanted to not show our cards and we weren't sure that Zach Wilson was going to fall to us. And when he did, we had to pull the trigger. Martin Shilton for the Beast Rider family. Mac Jones had a great O-line and backfield. Every quarterback would look good behind and with these guys. That may be true, but then again, my rebuttal to that is he plays in the SEC. Isn't that the SEC every single year? I mean, who did Joe Burrow have in LSU? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Who do you have at tight end? Randy Moss's son, Thaddeus Moss. Who do you have at wide receiver? Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So the list can go on. Who do you have on offensive line? Damian Lewis, who plays for the Seattle Seahawks, a 3rd-round pick. Ethan Posick. So the list can go on and 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 on. We can go circle Lloyd Cushenberry. We can go on and on and on about, all these SEC players and quarterbacks who had great supporting cast, but at the end of the day, you can't knock them because they play in the SEC. There's a reason why the SEC is the powerhouse conference and the gold standard in all of college football. Randy C. 415 says, if I had confidence in myself as a quarterback coach and I knew my system, Lance is the obvious pick, correct? If I was a crappy quarterback coach, then Mac Jones is a pick. I like that. I like that. Thank you so much, Randy C415. You made my day. That's hilarious. Thank you. Tua, turn the ball over. Do you think I'll play lights out this year? Oh my gosh. Mike Larry from the Beast Rider family. GM learned nothing from these running quarterbacks. We have Mel Diehard Niner fan Halmos, our second Beast Rider family Friday giveaway winner, says, hello, Beast. I just read a Matt Mayoka post saying, don't be surprised if the Niners move up to number 2 to get Wilson. I've heard that somewhere. I love Matt. You two ever do podcasts together? No, we don't do podcasts together. Maybe we can. I know Matt personally, obviously, and maybe we can work something out. But, no surprise here. Be in the know before you know. Again, that's what I always say. Peeling back layers of the onion to get to the core. And another one, be in the know before they know. That's why you guys follow me here in the Beast Rider family, because this is old news now. I talked about this weeks ago. And my man Bill even pointed out another YouTube receipt that I pointed out weeks ago. Jets will wait for a preseason injury to trade Darnold. That could very well play out. Thank you so much, Mel. I appreciate the love. Jay Moose, we have to accept which quarterback Kyle takes. Yes, very true. Joel Figueroa, yo, Beast, what's up, man? I have another option now if it comes down to Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I take Trey Lance because of his mobility and speed of the pass rushers. I like it. I like it. Joel, I like your analysis. I think Trey Lance, to me, again, if you want a proverbial boomer bust prospect, Justin Fields is not the most accurate quarterback. He could definitely well be a bust. Now, what if I was the GM, would I select Justin Fields? I wouldn't have even made that trade from 12 to 3 in the first place. But if I was to bank on a player being the least busty, is that even a word? The least busty? That doesn't even sound right. Busty? Least busty? Anyways, the least, I guess. If I was to pick a quarterback who's going to be the least busty, that just doesn't sound right. But that guy, in my opinion, would be Zach Wilson. And then it'd be Trevor Lawrence. And then ultimately, I would have to say Trey Lance would probably be I said he's a proverbial boomer bust prospect, but if I was to pick between Justin Fields or Trey Lance, if I was a betting man on who I think would be a better play, a home run threat, gosh, it's hard to argue against Trey Lance, even though I think Justin Fields is a safer pick today. Because today, he may be the better player. 5 years from now, Trey Lance could be that guy. He might be the best player in this whole entire quarterback draft class. I'm just saying. Trey Lance he has those critical factors. I like it. I like his critical factors. We have a lot of comments here. Jay Moose, imagine Clowney of the 49ers. That would be scary. That would be scary. Would definitely be scary. And again, if you're just tuning in, be sure to subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/BEASTwriter, so that way you'll be entered for our Family Friday giveaways every 2:30 p.m. on our live stream. We are giving this 49ers Fit custom dry fit t-shirt, founding members t-shirt. And again, in order to score this free swag every 2:30 p.m. on our live stream on Friday, you have to subscribe to my channel and engage with me. That's all we ask here in the BEASTwriter family. Good vibes only. Good vibes only. Where else do you get free stuff or can score free gear? Just by simply subscribing to a guy's channel. Here in the BEASTwriter family, that's what you're here. You're family. So I like giving back to you guys. So again, thank you so much. All right. That's blasphemous. Says, all I remember with Clowney is when he owned Staley that one game. He did. He did. John C., you would think the Niners fans would be better at identifying the next Montana. Instead, Niner fans are infatuated with finding the next Mahomes. Interesting point. Jeff Jackson, Ibukam is going to play defensive end for us, fam. Is he really? He's going to play defensive end. Wow. Well, if that's the case, if he's playing defensive end, who's going to be your outside linebacker? Stanley Nagasako from the BEASTwriter family. Aloha, brother. 49ers for life, bro. What do you think of the 49ers taking Clowney, Aldon Smith? To them, they can help both on the edge. I'm not so high on Aldon Smith, although I would take Aldon Smith. I would take either or. Shoot, give me Aldon Smith or Jadeveon Clowney as a one-trick pony pass rushing specialist. Why not? You're not coaching them to do anything different. They can do that. Just pin your ears back and say, see the quarterback? Hit the quarterback. That's your job. Third downs? If Jadeveon Clowney is injured, heck, just use him as a third down specialist. Then there's less tread on his tires, and you're only using him and getting the most out of his ability because now you're being more efficient by saving his legs because he is injury prone and being, okay, you're just a third down and obvious pass rushing situation specialist. Go ahead and pin your ears back, bro. Let's bring the house. Let's see what you can do. Go get him. I would love it. I would love it. Hawaiian, thank you so much. And mahalo. Hawaiian beat Kakoa. How's it, Beast? From Hawaii, I see. Yeah. Nobody talks about Kellen Mond. I think time to give up. He has an upside and can be a great quarterback in the NFL. What are your thoughts on him? I'm not high on Kellen Mond. Ultimately, I think he's going to be a bust. if there's any quarterback that's going to be a bust in this draft, I think it's going to be Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond. Now watch them turn out to be all pro players, and you guys can say, "Oh, Beast, you were wrong." But hey, this is all I'm saying in real time. Now, what do I see in Kellen Mond's game? I don't see much. I already broke down Kellen Mond's game in an earlier podcast. You can go ahead and see the actual play of that breakdown. It was just one play. And there's another podcast where I actually broke down like game film, but there's a play that I broke down when it came to Patrick Surtain evaluating game film study. Look what I talked about on that play and why I didn't like what I saw on that play, and that translates into the game film and on these games that I'm watching from him. He does have critical factors to be a very good quarterback. However, I just don't see enough for him to warrant a second or third round grade. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. He could be the next Dan Marino for all I know. Mike Larry from the BEASTwriter family. Had Lamar won, they'd be looking for the next running quarterback too. Very, very true. Very true. All right. Junior Boyd says, now I'm hungry. Yes, we were talking about food spots earlier, and I love food. Who doesn't love food? Everyone loves food. Lunar Mystic says, have you had man versus fries at Oakland? I have not had that. Now I'm kind of intrigued on knowing more about this, Lunar Mystic. Please tell me more. All right, let's go ahead. Little Dude 7 says, what do you think about trying to pick up quarterback Shane Buechele from SMU in, say, the 5th round or so? No, I would say pass on that. Not a fan. Brian King says, Brancheros was a good place to eat. I need to check out Brancheros then. John C., I watch Big Ten football. Y'all regret taking Justin Fields. Dude will not be able to process NFL speed. Book it. Bill said, if you saw Joe Douglas' reaction at Wilson's pro day, you know who his pick is. Exactly. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you. Keeping things 100. And again, this is not just Niner fans. The BEASTwriter family is all 32 fan bases combined into one. We have Bills fans here, Jets fans here. We have Niners fans here, Patriots fans here, Steelers fans here, Dolphins fans here, Bengals fans here, Panthers fans here, Falcons fans here, everything. It's all about good vibes only here. Tommy Huck says, I'm a chef, so I don't trust any restaurants on the pandemic unless it's a chain. My wife is spoiled. Oh my gosh. You are so lucky, dude. Now I'm hungry. Jerry Yang said the 49ers moving Samson even defensive end, actually not outside linebacker anymore. That would be a horrible move. If that's the case, I don't like it. That means they're banking on Samson Ebukam to be the Leo position. Yeah, good luck with that. Don Lovato, Randy Moss was good. Jerry Rice was better. Yes, he was. Chin for the win. If Lawrence and Wilson is picked 1 and 2, what quarterback would you take? I mean, geez, that's a tough one. I like Trey Lance's critical factors more than I like Justin Fields. Trey Lance is ultimately more raw than Justin Fields. Gosh, that's a tough pick. If I had to take a quarterback, I don't know. That's tough. I guess I'd have to say I'm kind of leaning toward Trey Lance. Although Justin Fields is a safer pick. See, it's tough. If you're the GM, it's very tough. It's not as clear-cut dry, right? If Justin Fields is a safer pick, but Trey Lance has the more potential, and you're sitting there at 3, this is real time. What would you do, BEASTwriter? I don't know. I just love the upside of Trey Lance. I'm going to say I have to go Trey Lance. I would go Trey Lance. I can't believe I'm saying that. But would I go Trey Lance? Gosh, that's tough. I think I'd go Trey Lance. LL Mel. 49ers are playing. Now, this is today, obviously. 49ers are playing every day. Everybody fourfold. Their target is Fields, and I'll explain why. Okay, explain it. I will lose faith in Chandler if he drafts Mac Jones. I think everyone is saying that. Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. All right, let's see what happens. Everyone's talking about Mac Jones's DUI. If you guys didn't know about that, he had a DUI that could impact everything. But yeah. Tommy Huxley says, I'm calling it Lawrence will be bust because of the Jaguars. I wouldn't doubt it. Bill says, with Shanahan, you take Lance. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. If I had to make the pick, I wouldn't have gave up that much draft capital to move up to 3 for a quarterback. But if I had to choose a quarterback, heck, I'm telling you right now, if I was stuck at 3 and I'm coming into the situation, I'm not sold on any quarterback to be a sure thing. What is a sure thing is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is a beast. He's going to be an all-pro, first-team all-pro. If I want to guarantee talent, I'm not even going to select a quarterback. I'm going to play it safe. And I know I gave up a lot of draft capital to move up for a guy like Jamar Chase. Actually, I didn't do it. John Lynch did it. But if I was coming into the situation and I'm stuck there at 3, I would rather go with the sure thing. And Jamar Chase is a sure thing. First-team all-pro. At least you get an all-pro player at number 3. Even though you gave up the farm to get it. I didn't make that move. John Lynch did. I like Jamar Chase. And then a strength becomes a bigger strength while adding as an insurance policy in case Deebo Samuel goes down. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk and Jamar Chase with George Kittle on the outside. That's one deadly combination. Probably the best trio wide receiver, tight end tandem in the NFL. A strength becomes a bigger strength. What do you think about that? All right. Trey to the Bay. I'm Mahomes 2.0. Don't overthink it, bro. There you go. It's a tough pick, but I pick Lance. Yeah, I agree with you, Jared Jones. I'd pick Lance if it came down to Fields or Lance. Interesting. It's interesting. It's really interesting. Dustin comes in. He says, Mac Jones will be the best quarterback in the draft. Book it. Wow. Thank you so much, the coach from the BEASTwriter family, for chiming in and sending me a super chat. I appreciate the love, bro. Mahalo, mahalo. And again, people are wondering what a super chat is. This is a super chat. It's a highlighted chat where if you like the channel, like the work, like the BEASTwriter family is striving to build here on YouTube, consider sending me a super chat. Just another fun way for me to engage with you. And again, all proceeds go back into the BEASTwriter family, as you guys know. All right, the coach says we're loaded. We dodged a huge free agent bullet this year. We don't need a savior. JG is stealing money, $23.6 million worth. Mac would blossom. Get over the optics. JF is trash. Okay, Justin Fields is trash, he's saying. He's saying Justin Fields is trash. He likes Mac Jones. Thank you so much for tuning in. So he would take Mac Jones at number 3. Interesting. And thank you and mahalo for your generosity. Appreciate the love, bro. Kim Ferrison says, curious on why you think Trey has more upside. It seems to me Fields is a better Lance. Yes. Thank you so much, Kim. What I like about Trey Lance more than I like Justin Fields is it comes down for me, I guess, the upside in terms of ball placement. Like with Justin Fields, I don't think he's the most accurate quarterback. With Trey Lance at his pro day and watching game film, he's a little bit more accurate. That's one of the big things I look for. And one of the critical factors I look for when assessing the quarterback position is accuracy. Now, I don't look at the accuracy completion percentage. That's the one thing you don't want to look at when you're evaluating the quarterback position, because again, a lot of it is spread offenses in college. A lot of it is checkdowns. A lot of it are one reads. A lot of it is throwing to the flats and throwing these bubble screens. So those literally take those out of the equation. I want to see how you make NFL throws on the deeper outs, on the shallow crossing digs. Do you throw to the receiver in stride on the third level? And do you throw on the proper shoulder when the receiver is coming out of his breaks? These are things that you look for. With Trey Lance, I saw more consistency in that aspect of his game than I did for Justin Fields. So for me, if I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan's system, what Kyle Shanahan wants in his prototypical quarterback, I see that more of a Trey Lance type of a guy than Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields is the safer play. He could very well be the better overall player, yes. But as far as upside, just speaking on upside, I like Trey Lance's upside better from a pure passing situation. I like Trey Lance. I like what he brings to the table. I do like Justin Fields as well. Ultimately, again, if I was making that pick, which I wouldn't have traded up 12-3 in the first place. But if I was stuck there, you can't go wrong with either one if you're going to take a quarterback. Ultimately, I don't know. I just have to go after Trey Lance. But thank you so much for your question. Justin Fields, not saying Justin Fields not going to be a great quarterback. Very well could be. Michaels, who has better leadership skills, Lance, Fields, or Jones? Oh, man, that's a tough question. Tough question. I think they all have great leadership skills in their own rights. Fields showed and displayed toughness in that Clemson game, played with like a broken, fractured rib, and still came back in the game and gutted it out. So that shows heart. You look at Mac Jones, the way he rallies his teammates in that locker room, the way people look up to him, how he's well respected by his peers, including the coaches and the coaching staff and the players respectively. He wins in that category as well. And then, of course, we know what we get with Trey Lance. He's just a winner on and off the football field, and he's proven it. And obviously he has that locker room on lockdown. So in their own right, I can't say one is better than the other. They all bring up that leadership quality, and they all check the box there. So thank you so much. Jerry Yang says the Mac Jones year was in 2017, and he hasn't had any other issues after that. So I don't think he'll be a factor since he showed he can stay out of trouble for 3 years. All right. Wow, we got a lot of questions. I'm like so far behind on these questions. All right, let's see what we got here. Wow, we got Tony Lewis from the BEASTwriter family. Question: do you think taking a Chase or a Pitts followed by Mills or Mond in the second round be a better option long term? Nah, I'm not high on Mills or Mond. Just not high on those guys. All right, let's see. We got other questions coming in. Let's see what we got here. All right, Joel Figueroa. Yo, Beast, once we address our quarterback situation with our third pick of the draft, I want us to address our offensive line. Still, offensive guard and right tackle is still a need for us. We need to address our weaknesses. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Great analysis, Joel Figueroa from the BEASTwriter family. Love your Flash avatar. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Oh my God. There's a lot of questions. I'm so far behind. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are like, what is going on here? How come? All right. Let's see here. Mike Larry, interesting set. He says, that Clemson linebacker hit on the field is a knockout in the NFL. Yes, it is a knockout in the NFL. Definitely. All right. I think we're pretty much done here. All right. I think we're pretty much done with the BEASTwriter family podcast live stream today. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. And thank you so much for everyone's generosity with your super chat and super stickers. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notification so you get notified when I go live or when I upload content. If you're new to subscribing to my channel or just watching it and have yet to subscribe, please do so in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Again, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a fun and safe, happy Easter weekend. I will be hopping on to another live stream maybe later on in the day. I have to get my workout in. You guys know I need to get my workout in. You guys asked for more workout videos. I am making those. So stay tuned for that. And again, don't be, how do I say this? Don't be shy of asking me questions. I know some of you guys were sending me private DMs and trying to reach me out on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram privately and asking me questions. It's all good, man. Go ahead and send those to me. I'll be sure to get back to you. But also in the chat too, because I mean, here, this is our logo. This is the BEASTwriter family logo. It's fitness and football. You see the barbell there, and then you also see the football and the shield. So that's what we do here. We talk about fitness. We talk about football. We talk about food, do mukbang. So all of that is here in the BEASTwriter family. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We have Jay Amunra coming in to the show. We're going to have him on right now. I was not expecting this. I guess I'm not going right now. What's going on, my man? How are you?
Yo, much love, man. I've been watching your podcast for, I would say, probably about, or not podcast, but following your YouTube for about like a year to 2 years because of Grant Cohn. But I love your stuff, man. I've learned so much from you from a football standpoint and just a life standpoint too, on like just do what you love in life, and just work at it every single day, baby steps. Just make sure you're working at it every single day, and you'll go wherever you want in life, whatever it is, and I just appreciate, that and the knowledge and insight that you have given me,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Hearing those words makes it all worth it for me. As much as it is, people look at me and see what I'm doing. There's really no special formula to it, right? Like, I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and people think, just because I have this platform that my voice is bigger than anyone else's. I think the most important thing is everyone has a voice, right?
Yeah.
As long as you know your stuff and you do your homework, like Jim Trotter of NFL Network says, you do the homework, you put in the work ethic, people will respect you, because at the end of the day, they can't say that it's wrong.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when things come true, then that's how you gain credibility. You spot on predictions and analysis. I mean, and one thing I will say with you, you bring great insight and analysis. I love talking to you because you think outside the box, and that's something that I think you should never waver from. With that, with that comes haters, though. Okay, so be prepared. You got to have thick skin. So when people try to come at you sideways, you got to take it for what it's worth and be like, okay, for him to take the time, or her, whoever, to come at me sideways, it means I'm doing something right, because they wouldn't take the time to come out and say that if I didn't have a voice. So keep up the good work, man. Thank you so much for the kind words, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. But let's get down to business, man. So honestly, I think the Mac Jones talk, it's all a smoke screen. I'm not gonna give a lot of energy into it. I don't see why you would trade up and mortgage your future for a guy like Mac Jones.
Yeah.
He had so much talent around him, and I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any means. I don't understand why, you would mortgage your future for a guy like that. And the NFL, in my eyes, is going towards more of a mobile quarterback, a guy who can throw the ball around, guys who have bigger arms,
right?
Like, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. So I really just think that's a smokescreen. So I'm going to move on. So my top 3 quarterbacks, right?
Okay.
Number 1, I have Trey Lance. Number 2, I have Zach Wilson.
Okay.
And my 3rd ranked is Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
But I think Trevor Lawrence is the most sure thing. But the way I value quarterbacks, I when they made the trade, I dove into the tape, man, and I was just going through the tape, and I put on my blinders because I didn't want people to have effect on my opinion and how I my thought process about these quarterbacks. Okay. And when it comes to Trey Lance, I feel like a lot of people are really nitpicky when it comes to, like, all right, he only started 17 games. But the thing is, you got to watch the film. Does this guy look like he's only played, 17 games? And the more you dive into the film, he doesn't look like he's played 17 games. He's very smart. He seems to get better every week. He goes through his reads and progressions. He has great pocket awareness. He has very good feet. He's very fast, or he's fast. He's big. He can sling the ball. He can make every throw. And the offense, from what I heard, the offense that they ran is the most pro-ready offense. NDSU, their offensive coordinator is very highly recognized, very highly respected. I heard Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, they've even admitted to taking plays directly from their offense and implementing it into their scheme. So I just think he's the most him and Trevor Lawrence are the most pro-ready to me. And you get that aspect of he's super athletic. He's running over D linemen. I've seen him truck a defensive lineman. I've seen him run over linebackers. And he hasn't gotten injured. Yeah. There's no real injury concern whatsoever. And so that's just my way of thinking. And I think by them trading up to number 3 was such a bold move that I just think it makes perfect sense, because when you watch Trey Lance, man, their offense looks exactly like Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Right.
Exactly like it. So
Right.
To me, he is a more of a plug and play than Mac Jones.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great points. I would agree with you on all your points. I think Trey Lance, again, he's a proverbial boomer bust prospect, right? We see the critical factors in his game, and obviously you do the research, you watch the game film, right? So we don't just watch highlights. You have to actually watch the game itself. And that's the thing that I try to preach here in the BEASTwriter family is don't rely on PFF for grades. Don't rely on, formulate your own analysis.
For sure.
Look at it for what it's worth. Don't buy into the box scores at the end of the game and say, oh, well, this guy had 4 sacks. Well, did those 4 sacks come on coverage sacks, or what? How many of those were actually based on his play? Was it the other guy on the other that flexed the quarterback to his side? I mean, things like that just irritates me, because when people bring out like box scores or highlights and they don't really know what to look for, like I'm not trying to throw shade, but I mean, some of my colleagues, they'll be like putting out some game film and they'll try to break down the film, and it's just like anybody can reiterate a play as it happens, and anyone can talk about that play, but what exactly are you looking for?
Yeah.
We can use fancy words, but what does that mean? Like, did you know what to look for? Like, if you're going to break down a play, break down a play. And I think that's what you do. I think that's what I do. Is we have to peel back layers of the onion to really get to the core. I always say that, and when you do that, like you said, you will find little things. Like you said, Trey Lance is what you said he's your number 1 quarterback?
He's my number 1 quarterback.
Okay.
On my big board.
And people will throw shade at that. And then you can come back at them and say, look, this is what I think. What are your thoughts? The difference between you and everybody else, or a lot of people, is they don't want to do the homework. They're just going to go by the narrative that's being pushed on, all these networks.
Exactly. The narrative.
So stay true to yourself. Now, I would disagree with that.
That's fine.
But that's fine. Because, who's to say I'm right? Who's to say I'm wrong? Who's to say you're right? Who's to say? We don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. And who knows? Maybe Kellen Mond becomes the best quarterback whoever comes out of this. We just don't know.
No one knows.
No one knows. So that's why it's funny when people try to throw shade at people like you or someone else who puts out these bold predictions, because they really didn't do their homework. And if they did do their homework, they would know that you have a valid point. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and you did bring up great points. So you just earned, kudos for that, because
thank you.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. And put it in perspective, really says a lot about who you are. So keep going, bro.
Thank you so much. I'm actually thinking about starting like a YouTube channel and
do it.
I'm going to.
You should do it today. You should
all
do
right,
it today.
I will. I for surely will.
Dude,
but
you need to do it.
Okay,
you need to do it. Yeah.
I will. So, and I have a couple other things, like, let's see. When the 49ers traded up, I remember Kyle Shanahan saying they have 3 guys in mind with the number 3 pick. So 3 quarterbacks. He said 3 quarterbacks. To me, like I said, I think it's Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. And I think the Jets have the same 3 quarterbacks if ranked on their big board. I think it's very similar. I'm not exactly sure, but I mean they literally took Saleh and who is it, Mike LaFleur.
Right.
They took a bunch of people from Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree,
right,
and moved it over, so they're going to be running the same system. But I think the Jets they're going to take Zach Wilson, and we're going to take Trey Lance. I think it's already locked in, man. I really do.
Did you hear about Mac Jones? What do you think of so you saying it's a smokescreen that Kyle Shanahan wants Mac Jones?
I really do. I don't. With this regimen, if you look into the past, they don't always they're very tight knit, and they'll try to throw out things like, oh, we really like Mac Jones, but they're just doing that to stir the pot, to stir up the media.
Yep, you got it.
And I really don't see Mac Jones being the pick, man. I don't know why they would. I mean, I love Alabama. Man, they have studs everywhere.
That's my team, bro. Alabama's my squad. I know how I have coaches. I have friends who coach LSU and Alabama. Obviously, my LSU friends do not like that, but hey,
Najee, man, I love Najee Harris too. I'm from Antioch, California.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, right now I'm.
Would you go to Deer Valley? Did you go?
I went to Antioch.
Oh, you went to Antioch? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's older than me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
But he's a stud. He's a stud, bro. And a lot of people are sleeping on him. And I think he's a better running back prospect than Ezekiel Elliott.
Ooh.
I truly think that, me personally, because he's better out of the back. He can do everything. Everything.
I know.
And he's big and he's built. There's really no injury concerns with him. He's got that chip on his shoulder. He's got that work ethic, man. He
has that Antioch swag, bro. Like people don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I watched him in high school. I talked to coaches, dude. That guy's going to be the real deal. That's why he's my draft crush. I also like Javonte Williams out of UNC and Michael Carter out of UNC.
Me too.
Those guys are going to be studs too. I think they would do well in Shanahan's offense. But gosh, I mean, this running back class is very, very strong. I think you look at guys like Travis Etienne. I think he will be a good player for like a team like the Arizona Cardinals in a one cutback scheme. But Najee Harris, man, he is not scheme dependent. He can play in a power based run scheme, but then he can also, like you just said, his dual threat ability. People aren't talking about his dual threat ability coming out of the flat. And that guy, I'm telling you, that guy is a monster. And there's a reason why I put him up in the top 10 in my big board and why he's my draft crush is because people are going to be sleeping on him because he's a running back.
Yep.
And they say tread on his tires. And I debunk that. I'm like, well, look how many running backs came out of the draft that had more tread on their tires and became all Hall of Fame players, all pro players. The only ones that didn't or who got hurt was like Christian McCaffrey, right? Saquon Barkley, some of these guys in recent memory, right? Then you can go back and maybe the guy from Alabama who they drafted, Trent Richardson, right? But then those are just one-offs. If you look at it throughout history, you want to talk about predicting future success, you delve into the past. More times than not, a lot of the best running backs to ever play had tread on their tires coming out of college. So that's actually a good thing.
Emmitt Smith.
There you go.
That's why he fell. I'm pretty sure. Or no, because he ran a 4.6 40, I think. But, it's all about the film, man. That's all it comes down to is watching the film, and don't let other people dilute your thoughts and opinions about a player, or you just got to dive into the film. And, I've been doing that, man. And I think Trey Lance is a lock, man. And I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Well, you should be. You should be, because if they do get Trey Lance, we're going to have you back on the show, and we'll see Jay Amunra said it.
For sure, man. For sure. I'll be the first one.
Because that's how you gain credibility, right? So not putting you on the spot. But again, this is why I make bold predictions, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, why would someone want to follow the BEASTwriter family? Why would someone want to follow me? Someone who's not even subscribed to me, right? What competitive advantage do people have in following me? One, I'm not afraid to put my analysis and spot on predictions on the line because I know more times than not I'll be right. I think that's the way everybody should go about it. The only thing is there's a lot of people in the media and a lot of people, like a lot of my colleagues, they'll teeter-totter. They'll say one thing and then go back to the other one. It's like, dude, why don't you just stick to your guns and just say what it is?
Yeah.
Furthermore, on top of that, when you do that, people are going to want to know what they don't know. Comes down to analysis. You can break down game films. That could be good for you. But then also on top of that, just know that people are always going to try to dilute. You want to use the word dilute your shine, right? Don't let them do that, man, because I think you have a very bright future. You just got to keep at it. And if it means starting a podcast, starting a YouTube, I'm all for it. I'll be down to support you here in the BEASTwriter
Thank you
family,
so
man.
much, bro.
For
Thank
sure.
you
Absolutely.
so much, man.
Absolutely.
And
man.
I just, one other thing too, why I think it's Trey Lance. Look at the players we drafted in recent history. They're all physically dominant players, or the majority of them, besides like Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, physically dominant.
Yeah.
Javon Kinlaw, look at his physique. Who else? Debo Samuel, physical. Even Ayuk, they say, is a very physical player.
Right.
Man, I can't wait, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I hope you have a great day. And I'll come back on for sure, man. You know, I'm always here. I'm always watching, man. I might not always say something, but I'm always watching and supporting. So
thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Mahalo. Yeah, anytime I'm going to do more of these. I think I kind of want people engaged in here. So we're going to do this. I want to do it at least 3-4 times a week. So
for sure, man.
It's going to happen, bro, because I like this stuff. This is what the BEASTwriter family is all about. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we're all on Facebook. We're all on Twitter. We're all on YouTube. We're all on all these other social media Instagram. The difference with all of those, aside from here in the BEASTwriter family, is there's all 32 fan bases in here. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we have fan bases from all different, and it's all good information, right? And that's what the whole good vibes only type of feel I want to bring here is, it doesn't matter what team you root for. We can all have a healthy discussion about football.
Exactly. There's no hate here, man. There's no hate. No hate in our hearts, man. So, I mean, exactly. So, peace and love, man. Peace and love.
Thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you soon, man. Take it easy.
For sure. You too.
All right. Mahalo. All right, so that'll be it for this podcast. I hope you guys had what we liked to say here on the BEASTwriter family. If you did, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. And you'll be entered for our Family Friday giveaways at 2:30 p.m. on our live stream. And we are giving away this 49ers Fit founding member t-shirt. If you're not a fan of the San Francisco 49ers, not to worry. Just go ahead and head over to the team store if you're their elected winner and pick up a value of $25, and I'll go ahead and get that shipped out for you. All right. Thank you so much. Mahalo. I hope everyone has a fun and safe Easter weekend. Don't drink and drive. And definitely honored to have everyone here in the BEASTwriter family. Good vibes only. Thank you so much. Take care. BEASTwriter out.